At the beginning of this story, we see our hero lying on the ground, completely exhausted and defeated. A notification pops up on his phone. It says the loan he applied for has been rejected. On top of that, the private lenders he borrowed from last time, around 10 million won, have demanded repayment by tomorrow at 1 a.m., including 2 months of interest. Otherwise, the loan amount will increase by another 5% in interest. He can't do anything about it. He's fed up with his life. That's when he decides to perform the only thing he believes he's good at: black magic. Using a red pencil, he starts drawing something strange on the ground. It's actually a ritual symbol for black magic. Rain begins to pour from the sky, making the whole scene even more intense. Looking up, our hero shouts, "Oh, dark power, I offer you my soul. I sell my spirit to you. From now on, I'll live as your servant. Just give me strength. Give me the power to become a star, a hero that everyone in this world will know." Suddenly, a lightning bolt crashes down onto the building's roof. A few moments later, the red markings on the ground begin to fade away in the rain, and our hero loses consciousness. When he finally opens his eyes, he's confused and says, "Wait, wasn't I just working on my school project? Where am I now?" His head throbs in pain. As he looks around, he catches a glimpse of his reflection and is completely shocked. "Who is this? This isn't my body. Why do I look like this?" He looks up at the sky and sees a massive spirit tree stretching from the earth to the heavens. "What is this place?" he mutters. It turns out that the boy from our world, who was just a normal student, has somehow transmigrated into the body of the man who performed the dark ritual. Then a mysterious voice echoes around him. "Congratulations, boy. You successfully summoned me into this world. I'll grant you 3 wishes. Tell me, what do you desire?" Our hero looks around in disbelief and realizes the voice is coming from a book. Wait, the book is talking? Did I really get transported to another world? He picks up the book and examines it. "Looks like you're going to be my lucky charm." Then, with a mischievous grin, he says, "But if I'm the protagonist of this story, then 3 wishes are way too few. My first wish is for 10 more wishes." The crystal on the book suddenly cracks open, and a monstrous mouth bursts out, releasing waves of purple energy into the air. The energy slams into the ground, tearing it apart. The hero panics as the book growls, "I knew there was something wrong with this contract from the start." The purple energy keeps spreading, destroying everything it touches. The book snarls, "So, you're not the one who summoned me. Your soul has replaced the original owners." The book begins to transform. Its true form emerges as a gigantic demonic skull. Our hero falls to the ground in fear and shouts, "What do you mean by soul contract? And who the hell are you?" The demon replies, "You're just an ordinary human, not worthy to know much about me. All you need to understand is that the real owner of this body summoned me, offering his soul as a sacrifice. I took his soul, but somehow yours ended up inside this body instead, so now this body belongs to both of us." The hero, trembling with anger and confusion, yells, "So that's how I ended up here. And now you're saying you want to take over this body too? Forget it. I'm out of here." He starts running, but the demon snaps its fingers and says, "Oh, I forgot to mention, if anyone tries to break a devil's contract, they'll be punished by the flames of hell." Suddenly, fire erupts across the hero's body, and he screams in agony. The demon laughs coldly. "Such a weak little soul. How boring. Fine then, die here." But before the flames consume him, the hero shouts back, "Then according to the contract law, if one side makes a mistake, the other side has the right to fix it. I didn't even know what was happening. I was scared. So tell me, what's your condition?" The demon pauses, turning slowly. "You're trying to trick me, boy." The hero shakes his head. "No trick. A powerful being like you could have ended me in a second. But you didn't. That means you're testing me. You need a worthy candidate, don't you? So tell me, where do I sign your contract?" The demon stares for a moment, then bursts into laughter. "Interesting. Very interesting. You're the first human who's ever dared to negotiate with me." He snaps his fingers and says, "Fine, kid, I'll spare your life. But here's the deal. I'll grant you life, but in return, you'll have to fulfill 1,000 of my wishes." The hero's face twists. "What kind of joke is that? When I asked for 10 wishes, you called it unfair." The demon smirks. "Time's ticking. You've got 1 minute to decide, or your life ends here. So, what's your answer?" Suffering through unbearable pain, the hero finally gasps, "I have no choice. I accept." The moment he says it, his signature appears on the contract paper. That's when we finally learn his name, Shu-chan. Sometime later, Shu walks out of the building, his clothes burned and torn. Standing outside his apartment, he looks around and mutters, "So this is where this body lives." He recalls signing the contract and asks, "What do I do now?" But the demon, now back in the form of a book, replies coldly, "Do whatever you want. When I need something, I'll come to you." Then it vanishes. Shu sighs and steps inside the small apartment. What kind of place is this? He wonders. The house is small, poor, and lonely. Then he spots a paper on the table. It says he must donate 2 liters of blood every week to pay off the loan. Shu stares in shock. What kind of family is this? He mutters. But before he can think further, the door bursts open. A man storms in, swinging a metal bat at him. The blow sends Shu crashing to the ground. 3 thugs stand before him, one holding a steel pipe, grinning menacingly. On the side, a guy in a black coat says, "Bro, don't hit him that hard. He might actually die from this." Another man standing nearby replies, "Relax, he's an oracle. He can handle a little pain." The hero slowly starts to get up, glaring at them in anger. "Who the hell are you guys?" he growls. But before he can finish, another kick smashes into his face. The blonde guy sneers. "Did you forget? You missed last week's interest payment, and your old mother didn't show up to donate blood either. Tell me, where is she? Is she even alive? Because I sure don't see her anywhere in this dump." He keeps beating him while saying, "I don't get how your mom works so hard for trash like you, donating her own blood just to pay off your debts. Do you even realize how pathetic you are? You were born trash, you still are trash, and you'll die trash. You and your mother aren't even worth polishing my shoes." At that moment, memories flash through the hero's mind. His childhood, when he once came crying to his mother. "Mom, I can't stand seeing you suffer. I had a terrible dream today," he says. "I saw you weaving clothes until you fainted, and then you never woke up. I don't want that to happen to you." His mother looks surprised at first, then smiles warmly and says, "My son, don't worry so much. Whether you become an oracle or not, remember this. If the sky ever falls on you, I'll be the first to stand and hold it up, even if it costs me my life. I'll never let danger touch you. Just believe in yourself. You can do it." Suddenly, Shu's eyes start glowing bright blue. The thug, still furious, yells, "Hey Trash, are you deaf now?" But before he can react, a powerful punch slams into his face, sending him flying through the air and crashing into the wall. The man in the coat shouts, "Hey, I told you not to hit him that hard." Then, realizing what just happened, his expression turns to shock. "Wait, that wasn't one of us. That was him, the trash kid." Another guy mutters, "No way. Something's changed in him. Did he just break through to 2-star level?" Dark energy mixed with blue lightning begins to surge from Zhu's body. He looks at them coldly and says, "You talk too much. Didn't you ever think that all the things you've done might come back to you someday? So tell me, are you ready to pay the price for disturbing me?" The 2 men snarl angrily. This brat thinks he can act arrogant in front of us? A 2nd-level weakling like him? Looks like we need to teach him a lesson. Maybe breaking 1 arm and 1 leg will do. As they approach menacingly, Shu thinks, "Is this the power flowing through my body right now, what they call oracle or 2nd stage power? It doesn't feel that strong to me." One of them rushes forward with his steel stick, but Shu can clearly see his movements. When the attacker strikes, dust bursts from the floor, but Zhu is already gone. In the next instant, Zhu appears right beside him and kicks him hard under the ear. The man flies backward and collapses, knocked out cold. The 2nd thug charges with his weapon, shocked by Shu's sudden strength. How the hell did this kid get so strong out of nowhere? Whatever, he's open now. He can't dodge this. He swings, but Shu spins back and kicks him straight in the stomach, shattering his stick in half. The thug screams in pain and falls to the ground. Begging for mercy, he raises his hands. "Please, don't kill us. We were just following our boss's orders. It wasn't our fault." Shu narrows his eyes and says, "Fine, I don't have a problem with that. Just go tell your boss not to mess with me again. He'll get his money on time. Now take your friends and get the hell out of here." The 3 of them stumble away. Shu watches them leave and says, "Hey, you're watching me, aren't you?" A glowing portal appears, and the demonic book floats out of it. "Impressive," Behemoth says. "Your intuition's sharper than I thought. You caught me." Shu smirks. "It was just a guess. My power suddenly skyrocketed. That couldn't have happened without help. So, was it you who gave me the power?" Behemoth replies, "Yes, you should be grateful. I can't let my servant get beaten up by mortals. Zhu grins excitedly. So you really are my lucky charm. If you keep giving me this kind of power, then I've got nothing to fear in this world. Behemoth's expression darkens. Watch your tongue, human. You're not worthy of wielding my power. You only survived because you didn't draw out too much of it. If you had, you'd have lost control of your body, and probably died right here. Shu sighs. So, you're saying I don't even get a reward for working for you? Come on, if I had more power, I could complete your wishes faster. Behemoth closes his eyes. Listen, every time you fulfill one of my wishes, I'll reward you, but you can't recklessly use my power, not unless you have a death wish. Shu looks disappointed. Meanwhile, Behemoth thinks to himself, this boy truly surprised me. I gave him only a portion of my power, yet he absorbed much more and stabilized it perfectly. Could he really be my destined vessel? Shu interrupts his thoughts. So tell me, what's your next wish? Behemoth looks startled. My next wish? Yeah, Shu says eagerly. The faster I complete your wishes, the better rewards I'll get, right? So come on, tell me. Behemoth turns away. I haven't decided yet, and now's not the right time. Shu sighs. Then what am I supposed to do now? Behemoth walks away, saying, do whatever you want, I don't care. And with that, he disappears. Shu scratches his head, thinking, I don't even know anything about this world. Guess my first job is to learn more about it. He checks the phone of the body's original owner and notices there isn't a single message from family. But suddenly his heart skips a beat. There's a message from his older sister saying their mom suddenly lost consciousness and has been admitted to Tianland Hospital. She begged him to come as soon as possible. The message was already 6 hours old. The next moment, the scene shifts to the hospital. Shu opens the door and steps into a cabin where a woman sits by the bedside of an elderly patient. The atmosphere feels heavy and tense. Shu thinks, this must be my sister. And that woman on the bed, that's the mother of this body. The woman lying there looks old and frail, her body weak and fragile. Shu's eyes soften. The face I saw in my dream, she looks even worse now. Then, lowering his head, he says, Sis, I'm sorry I'm late. How's Mom? His sister snaps back, So? What's your excuse this time? Were you out training again? Or did you have some great breakthrough? Maybe you were busy summoning a god into this world, huh? Tell me, which excuse is it this time? Her voice trembles with anger as she continues. Do you even realize what Mom's been going through just to pay off your loans? She worked herself to the bone, and now look at her. She's so weak she can barely stay conscious. We can't even afford a proper hospital room, and you couldn't even bother to show up earlier. What did she ever do wrong to deserve this? She ruined her entire life raising you, and you can't even be here for her now. You heartless bastard. Tears fall from her eyes as she cries. Look at Mom. Her blood isn't even flowing properly. She's alive only because of her willpower, but that won't last long. Do you even understand what I'm saying? Then she drops a debit card on the table and says, This has enough money to cover your next 6 months of expenses. From now on, I'll take care of Mom myself. You don't need to come back. As for your debts, handle them on your own. We won't take any more responsibility for you. Shu stands frozen, unable to speak. His sister wipes her tears and says one last thing before leaving. From this moment on, whatever bond we had, it's over. Later, Shu walks out of the hospital, silent and dazed. From inside the book, Behemoth's voice echoes. See, you have no one in this world. Not even that body belongs to you. So don't let it get to your heart. They were never your family to begin with. Shu lets out a small smile. It's fine. Honestly, it helped. I got to see more of this body's past memories. And you know what's funny? I never thought I'd hear you trying to comfort me like that. Behemoth turns away, muttering, Don't get the wrong idea. I just don't want you getting lazy. If you do, it'll take forever to fulfill my wishes. Shu laughs. There's no way I'm slacking off. The more rewards you give me, the stronger I'll become. And once I'm strong enough, I'll fix everything that's broken. Behemoth smirks. Good. Prove your worth. Show me your strength. When you do, everything else will start following you naturally. You don't need to overthink it. Shu grips his hoodie, pulling it tight as powerful energy bursts from his body. It's time to change everything, he says, stepping forward. The scene shifts to a nightclub. Inside a luxurious private room, several men are gathered, discussing business. A man with a cigarette sits between two models and says, Tell the collectors to move faster. The higher-ups don't like waiting. One of his subordinates speaks up nervously. Boss, there's been a little problem in District A. 3 of our men were injured by a student. The boss frowns. What? The collection date hasn't even come yet. Why were they there? The man replies, probably trying to earn some extra cash. You know how greedy they are. The boss exhales smoke in frustration. People like that ruin my reputation. You know the rules, right? Take care of it. Yes, boss, the butler says. We'll handle it, but this case is unusual. Out of the 3 injured men, 2 were 3rd-level awakeners and 1 was 2nd level. The kid who beat them? He's only a 2nd-level apprentice. The boss's eyes narrow in surprise. Give me the report. He scans the papers and sees Shu's photo and details. This kid. There's no way he's just level 2, the boss mutters. He's hiding his true power. A level 3 awakener's strength equals that of 10 level 2s, so he's concealing himself. He smirks and tosses the papers aside. Keep a close eye on him. We can't afford to waste talent like this. The scene cuts back to Shu, who's jogging early in the morning. A guy on the street waves at him and says, Hey, Ka-chen, you're up early today. I've got 400 bottles of this new Butterstar energy drink. Want a few? Shu shakes his head and keeps running. The guy laughs and says, You're in a great mood today, huh? That's how young people should be, energetic and positive. The narrator explains that Shu continued this routine every day, slowly adapting to his new body. Over the past few days, Shu thinks, I've learned a lot about this world. People here use different types of supplements to boost their power. Those who take them and awaken are called auditors, but these supplements are incredibly expensive. Shu starts doing pull-ups, 1, 2, 3, up to 100. Dropping to the ground, he smiles. I don't know what's special about this body, but it's already strong. People here don't exercise much. They just rely on supplements. But back in my world, I learned that training keeps the body truly healthy. Besides, this body was already well built by its previous owner. Suddenly his phone rings. He answers it, and someone yells from the other end. Ka-chen, this is your school representative. When are you planning to show up? The teachers are already warning you. You can't keep skipping classes like this. And don't tell me you forgot. I reminded you last night. Feeling a bit uncomfortable, the hero nodded in agreement. Though deep down he thought, I completely forgot about that. Then the scene shifted. He arrived at his college, where the teacher was explaining the history of Orator. The hero paid full attention, carefully taking notes. There were a total of 6 levels, E, D, C, B, A, and S ranks. To move up, one had to reach the peak of their current rank. The teacher displayed a list showing how each rank had several smaller stages. Anyone who managed to reach the S level was considered almost godlike. Their power was incomparable. The E rank was considered the weakest, and the city itself was divided according to these rankings. In the 5th layer of the city lived E rankers, ordinary people, and some D rankers as well. The hero thought to himself, right now I'm just an E rank auditor. If I want to get stronger, I need better resources, and for that, I'll have to enter the mid-city. Just then, a small piece of paper hit him near his ear. A group of boys laughed nearby, making fun of him. One of them said, See that? My aim never misses. Another one sneered, Hey, look at Shu Chen, he's giving you that look. The guy they were teasing grew angry. A weakling like him dares to glare at me? Sure, he's smart, but when it comes to strength, he's just an E-rank weakling. His friend encouraged him. Yeah, you should punch him just once. Meanwhile, Shu sighed inwardly. Guys like these always show up out of nowhere. What's their problem? The teacher interrupted. Everyone, change into your uniforms and head to the field. Your physical training instructor will be taking a small test today. Soon after, everyone gathered in the field. Shu was stretching his legs, thinking, it's good that students here train physically every day. Then someone shouted from behind, Hey, Shu, were you the one glaring at me earlier? Shu turned to see him, and the crowd began to buzz with excitement. Looks like a fight's about to break out, one said. Another added, Those two, they're always at it. 2 bullies grabbed Shu by his collar. Some students whispered, They bully Shu every month. Don't they ever get tired? Someone else warned quietly, Shh, don't say that. You might become their next target. The bully smirked. So, you've been acting pretty arrogant lately. Sure, you're smart, but can you fight with your grades? You know Orator's strength is measured by levels. You're just a level 1, nothing more than a piece of trash. Shu calmly replied, Oh? Then if I'm trash, and you're also level 1, what should I call you? The bully's face twisted in anger. You talk too much, let me teach you a lesson. But as he swung his punch, Shu caught it easily, then grabbed his other hand and squeezed, applying pressure. The bully's eyes widened in shock. What the? I can't even break free, and Shu said coolly, Didn't you say strength is everything here? So tell me, should I crush your hands right now? The bully trembled, sweat dripping from his forehead. "No, please don't." Suddenly, an intense pressure dropped over them. Zhu immediately released his aura to resist it. He looked around and thought, who could have such a powerful presence? A man appeared, teeth clenched in anger. "You dare cause trouble in my class? Your boldness keeps growing by the day. Tell me, who gave you permission to start a fight here?" "Shu Chen, I assume this was your doing." Shu smiled lightly. "Oh no sir, of course not. We were just playing around." He released the bully's hand, and the teacher, clearly annoyed, warned, "If I catch you causing chaos again, you won't like the consequences. Now everyone, line up for the physical test." The students quickly lined up. The teacher continued, "Your final graduation exam is in just 3 months. After that, you'll participate in the inter-district tournament, which will be much tougher. You must get stronger and bring honor to our academy. To boost your strength, I've brought you all grade A supplements. Each bottle costs only 6,001. Buy them and make use of this opportunity." Everyone started buying the supplements. One guy gave up after just 23 pull-ups. Another struggled but barely made it to 50. Shu frowned. Something's not right. Why do they look so exhausted after just 50 pull-ups? Then someone nearby called out, "Chen, are you okay?" A girl approached, holding her own supplement. "You haven't been to school for a while. Where have you been? Not that I'm interested or anything. I was just curious." Shu smiled. "I was just feeling a bit under the weather." She looked at him and asked, "Why didn't you buy the supplement from the teacher?" He replied, "I didn't really need it." But deep down he thought, "I just can't afford it right now." The girl shrugged, opened her supplement bottle, and began drinking it. "Well, if you don't buy it, the teacher might make your exam harder, so be careful." Her name was announced next, and she walked forward for her turn. She did 25 pull-ups before falling short. The teacher muttered, "She did 25 and bought 2 bottles. Let's make that 35. He adjusted her score and passed her. Shu thought, what a scam. This teacher is selling his own stuff for grades, and to the students can't do a thing about it. Then his name was called. The teacher smirked. He didn't buy a single bottle. Let's see if he can pass without my help. I'll make him an example. Shu grabbed the pull-up bar. This looks like a normal bar, but I bet there's a trick to it. As soon as he held it, he felt his arms grow heavier. 10 kilos of weight had been added through the testing bracelet. So this is why everyone struggled. But this bracelet must have a limit. It should match my own strength. He began his pull-ups. The bracelet kept increasing the weight, 20 kilos, 50, 80, even 100. Everyone around was stunned. How is Shu doing this? Soon the bracelet hit its maximum load, but Shu still kept going. He completed a full 100 pull-ups before finally landing back down. The crowd erupted, surrounding him excitedly. Tell us, Shu, what did you eat? Which supplement did you use? We want it too. Even the teacher was left speechless. This kid, he's already broken through to level 2. That's impossible in just 1 month unless he's consumed a high-grade medicine. He clenched his fists, thinking, if people find out about him, no one will buy my supplements anymore. I can't let that happen. I'll make sure he learns a lesson he'll never forget. The scene shifted to the principal's office. Someone inside shouted angrily, "What do you mean the level 2 event is being cancelled?" A voice on the other end of the call replied, "Yes, that's correct. The government needs elite oracles right now, those who are at least level 3 or 4. The principal frowned. But in our school, there are very few level 3 students who become oracles. How am I supposed to send an elite level oracle to the competition? And besides, our school's funding has been heavily reduced. We don't even have the resources to train a proper oracle in such a short time." The line went silent and the call was cut off. The principal sighed, putting the receiver down and rubbing his forehead. "Almost all my students are just level 1 or 2 oracles," he muttered. "I was just bluffing when I said we had level 3 oracles. But in only 3 months, how am I supposed to find a student who's even close to that level?" He thought for a moment and said to himself, "The only option left is to pour all our remaining resources into a single student." His eyes shifted toward a stone displayed in the showcase. "Senior," he whispered, "am I really unable to save Live Oracle Academy? Is this how it all ends? Completely shut down by the government?" At that moment, someone entered the room. It was the PE teacher. "Headmaster," he said, "here's the report from today's test. There are a few promising students in here." The headmaster took the report and skimmed through it. Promising? He thought. They're all level 1s, completely useless. Except for one. He looked up and said, "I think I'll need to test this Shu Chen myself. Bring him to me." The scene shifted again. Zhu was slowly walking up the stairs. Behind him, the devil behemoth's voice echoed in his mind. "What do you think the headmaster summoned you for?" Shu had no idea. He reached the principal's office door, but just as he was about to knock, a spark of flame appeared near his hand. Startled, he saw the contract paper appear in front of him again. The words glowed. "Behemoth has made a wish for something that currently exists nearby. You must obtain that item and deliver it to Behemoth." Shu muttered, "So I have to do it right now?" Behemoth replied, "Exactly. Either complete the task or burn to death. Those are your only two options." Shu took a deep breath and stepped inside the office. The headmaster was already standing, holding Shu's test report. The headmaster began, "Your physical level has almost reached the second tier. However, there are quite a few issues with you. You skip classes, you talk during lessons, you bully weaker students, and you've broken several other rules, all listed right here." All of that had been written by the PE teacher. The principal continued, "Look, I can overlook these things, but tell me, do you know the most important thing about becoming an oracle? It's money, and that's something you don't have. In your situation, you should understand your limits. You won't be able to afford the cost of training as an oracle. Considering your family's condition, your future looks grim. If you keep going like this, your family will end up broke. We're already cutting down on resources, so we can't afford to keep useless students around." But deep down, the principal thought, he's already reached the second level. If by some chance he manages to break through to level 3, that would be incredible. Otherwise, I'll just refund his tuition and be done with it. The principal looked up and said, "So tell me, Shu Chen, how would you feel if I said you don't need to come to school anymore starting tomorrow?" Shu froze on the spot. Meanwhile, Behemoth's voice echoed again. He noticed the same black stone sitting inside the showcase and said, "Kid, that's it. That's the thing I want. Go get it for me, now." Shu whispered back, "You can see my situation, right? Why don't you just take it yourself?" Behemoth scoffed. "If I could, I wouldn't be sitting here waiting. I can only take things you've claimed as your own and then given to me. So you'll need to find a way to obtain that stone yourself." Shu stood there, tense. If I want more resources, he thought, I'll have to get into Mid-City. And that's only possible if I graduate with at least a D-rank certificate. I can't afford to get expelled now. It would destroy my entire future. Then he remembered something. Most students in this academy are still level 1, but I've already surpassed level 2. That makes me valuable to the school. The principal must be testing me right now. I have to pass this test perfectly. He spoke to Behemoth again. "Listen, I'll give you the crystal stone, but I want the reward first." Behemoth looked at him in surprise. "Don't forget, kid, you said you wanted something in return." Shu nodded seriously. "That's right, I want your power." Behemoth's expression darkened. "I already told you. You can't handle my power. It could kill you. Think of another plan." Shu replied, "If I can't convince the teacher today, both my dream and your wish will be impossible to achieve. So please, boss, trust me. I won't let you down." Behemoth hesitated, then sighed. "Fine, do what you want. But if this goes wrong, you'll face the consequences yourself." A new contract appeared before them. The text read, "The user may borrow Behemoth's power whenever he wishes." Shu accepted it. The principal looked at him and said, "So, tell me, Shu Chen, what's your decision?" Shu said, "Principal, sir, I'd like to retake my level test, and after that, you can decide for yourself what I should do." The principal nodded. "All right, no problem. Just shake my hand and release your pressure through it." They shook hands. The teacher standing nearby thought, "He's definitely level 2. Way weaker than I expected. This is kind of embarrassing." But Shu was thinking to himself, "No matter what, I have to show my maximum power. I can't disappoint them." He began drawing in as much of Behemoth's power as he could, then slowly released that energy through the principal's hand. The principal immediately felt an overwhelming force surging through him. His expression changed as he struggled to maintain composure. From Shu's body, a wave of raw power exploded outward. Behemoth's voice echoed in Shu's mind. "No, you shouldn't be doing this. If you push even a little more, your body will explode right here." The principal quickly pulled his hand away, his eyes wide with shock. His strength keeps growing. And he's already reached level 4, he thought. Shu gave a devilish grin. "So, sir, what do you think now?" The principal was stunned. Then, moments later, he became overjoyed. Grabbing Shu's shoulders, he exclaimed, "You'll represent our school in the regional tournament. You'll be our participant." Shu stood frozen, unable to believe what he'd just heard. Later, the principal explained, "Our city is hosting a level 4 certification exam. Participating in it is a great honor for any school. And you, Shu Chen, are the only student here with the potential of a level 4. You're our only hope." He smiled warmly and said, "I also want to apologize for how we treated you before. Your school fees will be completely waived, and from now on your supplement supply will be doubled. If you have any other requests, just tell me. We'll do everything we can to support you." He paused and added, "But please, promise me you won't leave this school. You're an outstanding student, and I know other academies will want to recruit you, but our future depends on how you perform in this exam. If we fail, the school's funding will be cut, and the academy might shut down completely." Shu nodded seriously. "Understood, Principal. I'll represent our school with everything I've got. But in return, may I have that black crystal from the showcase behind you?" The principal turned, slightly surprised. "That crystal? It's the last memento of our former headmaster. We never figured out what it's really for, but we've kept it in his memory. Still, if our school doesn't survive, that memory won't mean much. So, yes, I'll give it to you. But promise me you won't abandon this school." Shu made a solemn vow. The principal smiled. "Good. But Shu, I'm curious. What kind of power did you use that made your strength rise so dramatically?" Shu hesitated for a moment, then said calmly, "I've been training to suppress my strength, to hide it so no one can predict my power. I hope you'll keep this a secret, sir." The principal, nearly in tears, said, "Of course, I won't tell anyone. To think that someone this talented can even hide his skills. What a genius." Just then, a girl entered the room. The principal said, "Transfer Shu Chen immediately to the elite class." She smiled at Shu. "Show me what you've got." A little later, the girl was walking with Shu through the hallway. "Our school's 3rd floor is reserved for the elite class," she explained. "It's been a long time since I've seen the principal smile like that. You must be something special." They chatted casually as they walked. Suddenly, someone shouted Shu's name from behind. It was the PE teacher, running toward them in tears. He said, "I tried my best to convince the principal, but he wouldn't listen. Your grades were good. You didn't deserve this. Every student deserves to study. I hope you'll keep working hard even after you leave this school." He genuinely thought Shu had been expelled. The girl looked confused. "Teacher, what are you talking about? Shu Chen's been transferred to the elite class. I'm taking him there to register right now." The PE teacher froze, completely stunned. The girl added, "Oh, and the principal wants to see you. He seemed really angry, so you should go quickly." The PE teacher's eyes widened in horror. "Looks like it's my turn to get scolded today," he thought nervously. The scene shifted to that night. Shu was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. "Going from level 2 to level 4 isn't something to joke about," he murmured. "That day, I borrowed Behemoth's power, but now I have to reach level 4 on my own within 3 months, and I don't even have the money to invest in training. What should I do?" He sighed heavily. Behemoth's voice echoed, "If you want more help, more rewards, you'll have to keep fulfilling my wishes." He looked at Shu closely. "And don't even think about using my power for long during the tournament. Your body won't handle it." Shu closed his eyes. "Yeah, I know. But at least now I'll be getting extra supplements from the school." Just then, his phone buzzed with a notification. It was a reminder that his loan payment was due in 5 days. The thought made his chest tighten with anxiety. The next morning, Shu arrived at school and was immediately surprised. The hallway to his new classroom looked like an abandoned factory. Dust everywhere, walls cracked. Suddenly, someone called out, "Shu, over here." He turned to see a yellow-haired man waving at him. "Come on, this way. The class is over here." After walking for a bit, Shu realized the man was actually the teacher of the advanced class. His name was Jung. Shu noticed the classroom name tag was taped up with paper and scotch tape. "How can an advanced class look like this?" he asked. "Sir, how many teachers are there in the advanced class?" Jing scratched his head, looking tired. "Just me. The school's in pretty bad shape, you know. We don't have enough funds, and advanced class teachers are expensive. That's why things are falling apart." Shu realized just how serious the situation was. The school was collapsing from the inside. Jung opened the door and said, "Here we are. This is your class. I promise, the facilities won't disappoint you." Shu stepped inside and his eyes widened. The room sparkled with light. Some students were training, others were punching targets or sprinting on the track. Shu thought, this looks more like a premium gym than a classroom. The students looked strong and determined, but every single one of them was staring directly at him. Then the teacher clapped his hands and said, "All right, everyone, gather around." Our main character greeted everyone politely, but suddenly a red-haired student from the back said, Is he even worthy of being here? How did he get enough strength to join the advanced class? Hey, tell us, what did you feed the teachers to get yourself in? Before the tension could rise, the teacher shouted, "Moo-ho! Watch your mouth! Don't spread such stupid rumors!" Meanwhile, Shu thought to himself, there's always a clown like this in every story. That red-haired boy smirked with a devilish look. Then you'll have to prove it. I'm formally challenging you, Shu Chen. Let's duel and see if you really belong here or not. Everyone around started whispering in shock. A formal challenge? It's been ages since anyone's heard of that, one student said. Another added, Mu-ho's the strongest guy in our batch. Fighting a newbie like that, it's pure bullying. This is insane. Off to the side, a yellow-haired guy was lifting dumbbells, sighing. Great, here we go again. More drama. Then a pink-haired girl giggled. Hey, look. Mu-ho just challenged the new kid. Shu, calm and confident, said, All right, no problem. I accept your challenge. The teacher looked completely shocked. He tried to stop them, but it was too late. The rules were already set. It would be a formal challenge. No one was allowed to injure their opponent, and it would be treated as a kind of practice match before the real tournament. The scene shifted to the principal's office, where the principal looked stunned. Didn't that PE teacher tell me already? This Shu Chen kid has bad behavior. He bullies others. Looks like he was right. The boy just got here and already challenged someone. But the PE teacher quickly replied, No, sir. Shu didn't challenge anyone. Mu-ho was the one who started it, and neither of them is willing to back down. I don't think we can stop this duel. The principal sighed deeply. The teacher thought to himself, maybe this is a good opportunity. I'll get to see just how strong Shu really is. He's been hiding his true power all along. He ordered the arena to be prepared and officially authorized the challenge. Sometime later, the teacher stood in the middle of the training hall. On either side of him stood Shu Chen and Mu-ho, facing each other. In front of them was a circular platform with a small device that displayed their levels once they placed their hands on it. Both of them were E-rank level 2 oracles. Mu-ho glared at Shu and thought, So you're level 2 as well, huh? Doesn't matter. I've been training way longer than you. The scene shifted again to the arena. The rules were simple. Whoever admitted defeat first, stepped out of the ring, or got hit even once in the face would lose. With that, the teacher signaled the start of the match. Mu-ho lunged forward with incredible speed, his fist slicing through the air straight toward Shu's neck. But within milliseconds, Shu reacted, blocking the strike with his own hand effortlessly. Mu-ho didn't stop. He threw another punch, thinking, Your reflexes are good, but there's no way you can dodge this one. But Shu moved like lightning, smooth, controlled, and precise, dodging every single attack. Within seconds, Mu-ho grew frustrated. None of his hits were landing. Then he leaped back suddenly, channeling his energy into his legs. A surge of yellow lightning sparked around him as he unleashed his special move. His kick shot forward with such speed that it left a glowing trail of light. Shu's eyes widened as he noticed it. The kick grazed his arm, sending a powerful shockwave through the arena and slamming into the ground with a thunderous explosion. Mu-ho thought to himself confidently, No E-rank fighter could ever stand after my strike. And look at you. You're already down on your knees. You can't win anymore. Shu looked at him sideways, then placed his hand on the ground and released his force. In an instant, he landed a clean kick right on Mu-ho's face. Mu-ho was completely stunned. He couldn't believe what just happened. He had never seen a combat move like that before. But actually, the kick had hit near his neck, not his face. Thinking about it, he muttered, I haven't lost yet. I'll definitely defeat you. As soon as he turned around, Shu's hand was already right in front of his nose. Shu stopped just in time and said calmly, Look, I was about to strike your face. Do you admit defeat now? Mu-ho was too shocked to move. He stayed kneeling on the ground as the teacher declared Shu the winner. Mu-ho still couldn't believe he had lost. Sweat dripped down his face. The rest of the classmates were equally stunned. How could a complete newbie defeat our class's best student so easily, they thought. This guy must be really powerful. Shu asked again, So, do you admit defeat? Or do you still have doubts? Even the teacher was amazed. He thought, I've personally trained Hao with professional techniques, but Shu's physical ability, technique, and speed were all unbeatable. The principal was right. This boy truly has talent. Just then, someone walked in. Everyone was shocked. It was the principal. He said, Shu, could you come with me for a bit? I need to talk to you. Shu followed him out. Behind them, the pink-haired girl whispered, Did you see that? The principal seems to have a good relationship with the new student, and he's insanely strong too. The yellow-haired boy replied, exactly. We need to get him to join our crew no matter what. The girl overheard this and found it a bit odd. The scene shifted outside, where the principal was asking Shu about his first day experience. He said kindly, if you ever need anything, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to help you. Shu thought to himself, looks like the principal really trusts me, but should I ask about money? I can't hesitate. So he asked, Principal, do you know any way I can make money? Something that works fast? The principal looked at him and placed a hand on his shoulder. Don't worry about that. You're still young. You should focus on your training. In the future, you'll have plenty of opportunities to earn money, and if you ever need food or clothes, the school will cover that. Shu understood that he'd have to find another way. What? Later, he sat on a bench lifting dumbbells, thinking, if the school finds out I took a loan under my name, they might expel me. I need to find a way to make money fast. Just then, the yellow-haired guy approached him cheerfully, patting his shoulder. Hey, that sparring match was amazing. Even the principal seems to value you a lot. So tell me, who are you really? Shu was a bit caught off guard by the sudden friendliness. Then the pink-haired girl joined in, saying, Sen's always like this. Please don't mind him. She introduced herself as Su Jia and added, we joined this class earlier, so technically we're your seniors. If you ever need help, don't hesitate to ask. Sen grinned and said, from now on, we're a team of 3. I'll be the leader, and I'll make sure to take care of my teammates properly. Shu thought to himself, these people are really weird. Sen asked curiously, that last kick you landed during the fight, where did you learn that technique? Shu replied honestly, I just reacted instinctively. I don't have any professional combat training. Hearing that, Sen was completely shocked. If Mu Hao finds out about this, he'll lose his mind. The girl explained, in this world, combat techniques can actually be purchased and absorbed into your memory using scrolls or stones. The more you use those techniques, the better you master them, and eventually you can combine them to create your own special moves. That's what sets skilled fighters apart. She continued, the brutal kick Mu Hao used on you earlier was called the hook wind kick. It's a D-rank combat technique. Shu thought, yeah, that kick was powerful, definitely worthy of being D-rank. Then he wondered, if I had a combat technique too, I could improve my skills even more. Right? He asked, are combat techniques rare? Sen replied, basic ones are common and cheap, but the higher level techniques are rarer and much more expensive. For example, that D-rank technique Mu Hao used costs around 500,000. Sen and Su Jia mentioned that they also had their own powerful techniques. Shu wondered, do these people just walk around with millions of won? I must have ended up in a rich kids class. These guys have way too much money. Then he realized, if their families are this rich, they probably know ways to make money too. So he asked, do you know any way I can make unlimited money? Fast? Sen joked, well, if you can do anything, then just rob a bank. Shu frowned, come on, I'm serious. Tell me something real. Sen thought for a moment, then said, all right, you could go to the Black Water District. You can make a lot of money there in a short time. Su Jia smacked Sen on the head. Don't give him such bad ideas. If the teachers find out, you'll get punished. Shu asked curiously, the Black Water District? What's that? Sen warned, don't even think about going there. That place is dangerous. Anything can happen. It's completely banned by the school. If you're caught there, you'll be expelled immediately. Just treat it as a joke. Then he asked, by the way, how much money do you need? Shu coughed awkwardly and said, around 300,000. Both of them were stunned. 300,000? That's insane. They quickly backed off, saying, we don't have that kind of money. We're broke. As they left, Shu thought, the Black Water District sounds interesting, and I don't really have another choice. I'll have to explore it after school. The scene shifted to nighttime. The camera showed a banner reading Black Water Road. Shu arrived there, looking at his phone. So this is the place Google Maps calls the Black Water District, but it looks completely destroyed. He muttered, let's see what's inside. Then he asked, hey Behemoth, what do you think could be in this city? But Behemoth didn't respond. Guess he's busy with something important, Shu thought. No problem, I won't go too deep. The outskirts shouldn't have any strong people anyway. I've already borrowed level 4 power from Behemoth for emergencies. That should be enough. Slowly he moved forward, wondering, how am I supposed to find money in this deserted place? Suddenly he noticed footprints on the ground. Following them, he reached a door with faint light coming from inside. He approached it and entered the house, unaware that two people were quietly following him from behind. Actually, there were a lot of people there, and they were all glaring at Shu with bloodthirsty eyes. The hero steps inside, completely shocked. He thinks, this place looks totally different, so this is the real Blackwater district. After a while, Shu notices how some people don't even have homes, they're sleeping out in the open, under the night sky. On the other side, some folks, their faces covered, are making shady black market deals. Shu thinks, looks like this place runs on jungle law. Anything can be bought or sold here, as long as there's profit. He closes his eyes for a moment and says to himself, first, I need to figure out how to make some money here and fast. But before that, he suddenly turns around and says, hey, how long are you guys planning to follow me? From behind, a few thugs step out smirking. Well, well, kid, you caught us. Not bad. We were just waiting for the right moment to knock you out. Shu looks confused. Why would you want to knock me out? One of them licks his lips and says, don't play dumb, kid. You know how this works. Rich brats like you fetch a nice ransom when we hand you over. We get paid big. Shu thinks, these idiots. If only they knew I don't even have a single coin in my pocket, and they're here thinking my family's rich. The man slaps Shu lightly on the cheek and says, all right, kid, now that you've seen our faces, you're coming with us. Don't worry, we won't hurt you much. We just need our ransom, and if we feel generous, maybe we'll let you go. If not, your body's worth a decent price too. Shu smirks. You guys sure are straightforward, but you really think you can pull that off? In the next second, Shu unleashes his level 4 strike. The thug slams face first into the ground. His two buddies freeze in shock, then pull out their small daggers, yelling, you heard our boss. We're gonna teach you a lesson. They rush at Shu, but suddenly two crates come flying out of nowhere, smashing right into their heads. Shu blinks, confused, when a figure suddenly appears in front of him, grabs his hand and says, come with me. She drags him away as they sprint down a narrow alley. When they finally stop, Shu, panting, says, thanks for saving my life. In his head, though, he's frustrated. I was planning to capture those guys and make them spill some info, but she ruined my whole plan. The girl looks at him and says, hey, your name's Chen, right? What are you doing here? Shu freezes, sweating. Does she know who I am? Am I exposed? On the other side, the girl's panicking too. Crap, I can't reveal my identity like this. What was I thinking? An awkward silence fills the air. She wonders, did Shu really not recognize me? Or is he pretending? She finally says, look, I don't know you. I just saw your name on your collar tag. Shu quickly checks his own collar, realizing the ID tag is still there. He yanks it off and says loudly, man, I totally forgot to remove my school badge. Lucky she doesn't know who I am, or I'd be in serious trouble. Meanwhile, the girl thinks, looks like he really didn't recognize me. She then says, listen, you shouldn't walk around this city flashing your school ID like that. You'll just get into trouble. Let me show you a safe way out of here. Shu shakes his head. No need. I came here for something, and I already know how to get out. He turns to leave, thinking, she already knows which school I'm from. And my name too. Who knows what kind of trouble that'll cause later. The girl watches him go, thinking, it's been so many years. Maybe he really has forgotten me. Or maybe he's just pretending not to know. But why is he even here? She looks at her hand and murmurs, I could feel it. Shu's oracle power has grown strong. Has he awakened to a higher level? Meanwhile, Shu buys a cheap mask, covers his face, and keeps walking, still unable to find a proper way to earn money. Then suddenly, an old man approaches him. Hey kid, you don't look like you're from around here. I've lived here a long time. If you want, I can be your tour guide. Shu immediately asks, just tell me how can I make money fast? The old man grins. Oh, that's easy. Come with me. He thinks, nice, I'll get my commission out of this too. They walk into an underground chamber, a secret fight arena where wrestlers brawl inside cages. The crowd is roaring, hit him, hit harder. Shu and the old man arrive just as the announcer hypes up the next match. Here, people bet on fighters. Today's fight is special. Whoever wins not only takes the prize pool, but also earns a small cut of the bets. Shu looks around. These fighters, they're only level 1, but that prize money... His eyes catch the number, a total pool of 4 million. The bookie asks, so, how much do you want to bet? Which fighter should I place your money on? Shu says calmly, "Forget that, I want the whole prize pool." The man stares, speechless. Meanwhile, the same girl secretly sneaks into the arena, watching from a distance. Why is Shu Chen here? In a place like this? The crowd is still chanting, and her eyes shift toward the cage where Shu stands face to face with a massive musclehead fighter. The opponent growls, "Before you lose, remember my name." But before he can finish, Shu lands a single, clean punch to his face, sending him flying out of the arena. Shu smirks. Well, that was easy. Another fighter charges in, shouting threats, but Shu launches him into the air too. The third fighter walks in trembling, already terrified. From a nearby monitor, someone's watching the arena manager. "I thought that kid was weak. That's why I even let him fight. We can't let an outsider win all that money. It'll bankrupt us." Another worker rushes in, panicking. "Sir, if this keeps up, the crowd's gonna riot. They're already demanding refunds." The manager clenches his teeth. "No matter what, that kid can't win. Announce a special match. Release the monster." Gay. Shu takes down his final opponent and says, "So that's it? Guess the match is over. Time for me to collect my money." But then an announcement blares through the speakers. "Everyone's too hyped to end it here. By popular demand, we're adding a special match." Shu frowns. So they're playing dirty now. They don't want to pay up. All other fighters are escorted out of the cage. Then, from a dark corner, a heavy gate creaks open. The announcer shouts, "And now, the final challenger appears." Shu's eyes twitch in surprise. It's not a human. It's an orc monster named Neploon. The creature is dragged in, restrained by thick belts. Even the handlers nearby are trembling. When they finally unchain it, the beast crashes to the ground, starved and enraged, its body looking like it hasn't eaten for weeks. The cage locks shut behind them. Shu looked around in confusion, thinking, "What the hell is going on here? Am I supposed to fight this monster now?" Then he noticed something strange, a weird growth emerging near the creature's neck. The next moment, a small metallic plate popped out from its back, and slowly the monster began to rise. It had an incredibly creepy look in its eyes, sending chills through the crowd. Even the audience, who were cheering moments ago, were now frozen in fear, sweat dripping down their faces. On the other side, the white-haired girl thought anxiously, "What's a monster like that doing here? Shu can't fight something like this. But if I try to save him, our entire plan will be exposed." "Damn it, Shu Chen! Why did you come here?" Shu, meanwhile, thought to himself, "Boss Behemoth, even you're not here right now, and I'm stuck fighting a monster like this. It's not even looking at me as an opponent. It's looking at me like I'm dinner." Every instinct in his body screamed danger. Suddenly, the monster's arm extended, and a bone-like knife grew right out of it. The next instant, it lunged forward, slashing at Shu. Shu managed to dodge, but a shallow cut appeared on his neck. He thought, "If I'd been just a second slower, I'd be dead already. This thing really wants to kill me. I can't hold back anymore." He grabbed both of the monster's arms mid-attack, gritting his teeth. "It's strong, really strong. Looks like I'll have to use Behemoth's power." His aura flared as he boosted himself from level 2 straight to level 4. With that, he shoved the monster back and clenched his fists tight. Then, with full force, he struck right in the center of the creature's shoulder. The impact sent the monster crashing to the floor. Shu started to lower his guard, but that was a mistake. The monster suddenly swung its bone blade and slashed his shoulder. Shu jumped back, breathing hard, thinking, "Even my strongest hit didn't faze it. Its knives are dangerous. I need a weapon fast." The monster came charging again. Shu ran toward the gate, but the creature slashed at his head. Shu narrowly ducked, grabbed the monster's arm mid-swing, and snapped its blade off. Then, using that very blade, he countered, slashing across the monster's throat before leaping back. The beast's jaw gaped open from the hit, but it still didn't go down. Shu muttered, "I finally landed a clean strike. I just need one more chance." Then the monster's body began releasing thick black smoke. Shu frowned. Is that poison fog? But he quickly realized it wasn't. Before he could react further, he felt something moving to his side. He swung low with his blade, but the monster was too fast. It stabbed Shu in the back. Shu turned, ready to attack again, but another strike hit him from behind. Within moments, Shu was completely cornered, blood dripping from his wounds. The monster darted in and out of the fog, slashing from every direction. Shu gasped, "I can't hold Behemoth's power much longer. If it fades, I'm finished." Focusing all his senses, he whispered, Focus. His eyes began to glow with light as he scanned the air. That's when he noticed tiny waves in the green mist moving unnaturally. There you are, he said, charging forward. He grabbed the monster's arm and struck hard, slicing it clean off. The monster howled, but Shu didn't stop. He rushed in again, though pain shot through his chest. His heart throbbed violently. Damn it, I've reached my limit. Not now. The monster swung with its remaining arm, hitting Shu's hand so hard that his blade flew off. Then, with its long green tongue, it lashed forward, piercing straight into Zhu's stomach. Shu gritted his teeth. This isn't over yet. I can still borrow more power. His eyes burned brighter as he grabbed the creature's tongue and yanked hard. Then he seized its jaw with both hands, whispering, I need that money. You left me no choice. With a roar, Shu ripped the monster's jaw wide open until it tore in half. The scene shifted to the control room. The manager stared at the screen, unable to see anything inside the cage. It was covered in thick smoke. One of his assistants said nervously, Boss, the smoke's clearing. The manager, sweating, muttered, Did the kid die? Then, as the fog lifted, his eyes went wide in disbelief. No way. This can't be real. The white-haired girl also stood frozen in shock. I'm seeing this with my own eyes. How is this possible? Some of the audience screamed with excitement. They had won their bets. Others sat in disbelief, unable to comprehend how a human boy had just defeated a monster. Inside the arena, Shu stood tall, holding the monster's two torn halves in each hand before throwing them down. Then he glared straight into the manager's security camera with a devilish smirk. The guards nearby were speechless. The manager, trembling, slumped into his chair, pulling at his hair. He really won. I have to pay him all that money. And that monster, I spent my life savings buying it. I'm ruined. Moments later, the announcement echoed, Ladies and gentlemen, we have our tournament champion. Please follow our staff to collect your prize. Shu smirked slightly. So it's finally over. Backstage, a man opened a suitcase filled with cash and said, There's 5 million won in here. Zhu reached for it, but before he could, the manager snapped the case shut. Wait, he said in a shaky but angry voice. I've changed my mind. You can still get the full amount. If you agree to become our contracted fighter, whenever we need you, you'll fight for us. Otherwise, you can take just 1 million won and leave. Eh? Shu asked calmly. And why's that? I want to hear the reason. The manager exploded, shouting, Because of you, all my contracted fighters quit, and you killed my special match monster, worth nearly 4 million. You broke multiple agreements, and you owe compensation for that. Shu gave a cold, arrogant smile. Didn't you say before the match that once I stepped into the ring, my life was in my own hands? You made me sign a life and death contract where either side could kill without consequence. So tell me, where exactly did I go wrong? He took a step closer, his tone darker. Besides, you threw a monster at me, not a human opponent. That thing wasn't fighting me, it was trying to eat me. The manager couldn't even breathe properly, sweat dripping from his forehead. Shu's eyes glowed faintly as he released a bit of his aura. His voice deepened. I want my 5 million. Not a single one less. Not a single one more. The manager, shaking, pulled out a gun. Who do you think you are, huh? You think you can just do whatever you want? You think you'll take the money and walk out of here alive? Keep dreaming, kid. Shu stepped forward, crushed the gun right in the manager's hand, and said coldly, So, you really think you can stop me? The manager screamed in pain as the bones in his hand shattered completely. Kill him! All of you, right now! He shouted. All the security guards drew their guns and aimed straight at Shu. Shu gave them an intense, deadly look. The scene then shifted to the arena, where the girl and the audience could hear gunshots echoing from somewhere nearby. Suddenly, one of the guards crashed through the control room window and landed right in the middle of the audience. People gasped, confused. Is this some kind of movie shoot? How can they jump from that height? Don't they care about their lives? Someone shouted. Meanwhile, the white-haired girl thought to herself, Is Shu the one causing all this chaos? The scene shifted back to the manager's office, where the guards were being brutally taken down one by one. One of them aimed his gun and fired at Shu, but Shu dodged easily, grabbed the guard by the face, and slammed him through the wall, bursting out of the room. The rest of the guards rushed outside, shouting orders. Lock down the city. Block every exit. No one gets out. Shu ran down the dark alleys, breathing heavily. My heart's pounding like crazy. I must have used too much of Behemoth's power. And that wound in my stomach, it's deeper than I thought. If this keeps up, I'll lose consciousness soon. Just then, someone grabbed him by the collar and pulled him into a narrow alley covering his mouth. Outside, the guards yelled, "He was right here. Where did he go? Search everywhere. He couldn't have gone far." The person let go of him. Shu looked at her suspiciously. The girl said quickly, "Listen, I know a secret passage out of here. You can escape safely if you follow me." A few minutes later, they reached a tunnel entrance. The girl pointed ahead. "Go straight from here and you'll get out of the city. Hurry up. If you don't, they might seal this route too." Shu took off his mask and said, "Thank you so much." Then he ran off into the tunnel. The girl watched him leave when suddenly her phone rang. A voice on the other end said, "Linnea, are you back inside the Blackwater district again?" The girl replied, "Sister, I'll talk to you later. Please, give the phone to Grandpa. I need to discuss something important with him." The scene shifted again. Shu entered his apartment, tossed the suitcase aside, and dropped to his knees. Sweat was dripping down his face. "My heart hurts so much. I don't think I can hold on much longer. Is this the end for me? No, it can't be." Then he lost consciousness and collapsed on the floor. A panel appeared, showing Zhu's background. He still had a 90 million credit loan. How did he even borrow that much? Someone wondered. The scene changed again, showing a woman speaking softly. "Mom told you he'd recover completely in 2 or 3 years. But forgive me. I lied to you. The truth is, I only have 2 or 3 years left. After that, I might be gone from this world. I really wanted to see you again. To see you get married, to see your child, to see you grow old. To touch your face just once more. Please come back." On the other end, Shu's voice trembled. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I've caused you so much pain. I can't even look you in the eyes again." 3 years later, Shu sat by his mother's grave, crying, begging her to come back just once more. But it was too late. Tears fell from his eyes, and then we saw Shu wake up suddenly. It had all been a dream. He sat up quickly, realizing it was morning. "Looks like somehow I made it back to this body's owner's house. I'm still alive. Maybe that dream saved my life and pulled me out of the darkness. But how much time has passed?" Then a voice spoke. "So, you're finally awake." Zhu's eyes twitched. "Boss, where have you been all this time?" Behemoth replied, "I had some urgent business outside. When I got back, you were lying unconscious on the floor. Do you realize you've been out for 2 days straight? Let me guess. You got into another fight and used too much of my power again. How many times have I told you not to overuse it? Keep this up and one day you'll really die for good." Shu, covered in sweat, said, "I didn't have any other choice." Behemoth sighed. "You think if you die again I'll be able to bring you back? Remember this, when I revived you last time, I used more than 80% of my power. I'm weaker now. If you pull another stunt like that, I won't be able to save you. You've been given another life. Learn to value it. Not everyone gets that chance." Shu smiled faintly. "You're right. I'll be more careful from now on." He explained everything that had happened. Behemoth asked, "So that monster you fought, it wasn't from this world?" Shu replied, "I don't know, but I'm not going back to that arena again." Then he thought for a moment. "And that girl, I wonder who she was." But then another thought hit him. Wait, the money! He jumped up, rushed to open the suitcase, and saw the stacks of cash inside. Hugging it tightly, he said, "Thank God. I've got enough to cover 3 months of interest. At least I don't have to worry about money before the tournament starts." Behemoth just sighed. Humans are such strange creatures, risking their lives for these little pieces of paper. Suddenly, Shu felt a sharp pain in his stomach and remembered his injury. Damn, this isn't a small wound. I'll have to go to the hospital. And after that, the bank, to deposit this money. Thinking about all the things he had to do, Shu sighed and rubbed his forehead in exhaustion. After some time, the scene shifted to the hospital, where the doctor was cleaning Shu's wound. It's already healing fast, he said. You must be an oracle. That's probably why your recovery rate is this impressive. Look, right now, our hospital is offering a membership program. If you sign this paper, you'll get a lot of benefits. Shu refused, thinking, this has to be a scam. I'm not falling for it. He sighed in relief, thinking, "Good thing that monster wasn't poisonous, or this would have been way worse." Closing his eyes, he muttered, "My eyes are burning so bad." The doctor then offered him some medicine, but as Shu looked at it, he noticed a strange blue glow coming from the box. "Doctor," Shu asked, "where's that light coming from?" The doctor shook his head. "It's just normal medicine, nothing special about it." Shu frowned. "Wait, am I the only one who can see that light?" The doctor pulled out another form saying, "We actually have another plan going on. You might be hallucinating. With this special discount, you can even get counseling in our psychology department." Shu declined again. As he looked around, he noticed that every medicine bottle seemed to emit a strange purple aura. When he stepped outside, he saw the same aura radiating faintly from people too. What the hell? "I've never seen anything like this before," Shu thought. "Did I just awaken a new ability? Could it be because of the time I focused all my senses, searching for that orb inside the smoke? If that's true, this is insane, because oracles can only level up by absorbing star energy, and if I can actually see it, then I can absorb it way more efficiently." Suddenly, his eyes caught sight of a man passing by. A thick green-colored star energy radiated from his body. "This guy's no ordinary human," Shu thought. "He's got some serious power." Shu moved forward quietly, but the man turned slightly, sensing something. Did he just scan me? No, that's impossible. It takes an enormous amount of power to do that. Just then, a voice came through the man's earpiece. "Have you reached the hospital yet? Don't forget your mission. We need to locate the one holding that strange star power." The man smirked. "Relax, I don't waste time. As long as I'm in this country, I'll find him. And maybe even that little princess." Who this little princess was, we weren't told yet. Another voice on the line said, "According to the boss's prophecy, a strange star power will soon appear in this city, something that could change all of humanity's history. Until we know whether that person is good or evil, we have to proceed with extreme caution." The man chuckled. "Tell the boss not to worry. If that alien star power holder turns out to be our enemy, I'll personally destroy him." We're then told this man's name, Amer, an A-rank oracle. The scene shifted to the next day at Shu's academy. The principal sat calmly with his eyes closed, speaking in a serious tone. "You transferred into our special class just a few days ago, and already you've been skipping classes and ignoring my messages. Care to explain why?" Shu looked nervous. He made up a quick excuse. "Something urgent came up at home, sir. I couldn't even inform the school. I sincerely apologize and will accept whatever punishment you give." The principal sighed. "That's not what I meant, Zhu. I just wanted to know if anything unusual has happened to you lately." Shu shook his head. "No, sir, nothing at all. And don't worry, I'll be representing our academy in the tournament." The principal smiled. "It doesn't matter whether you compete under our academy's name or not. As long as you're here, it's our duty to support you in every way we can, to help you grow stronger. That's what our academy stands for." Hearing that, Shu was deeply moved. He closed his eyes and said, "If our academy cares about us this much, then I'll give everything I've got to bring glory to our school in the tournament." The principal nodded. "Good, now get to class. Your friends have been really worried about you." Shu was surprised but left quickly. As soon as he entered the classroom, the pink-haired girl and the yellow-haired boy ran up and hugged him tightly. "Where the hell have you been all this time?" they shouted excitedly. Shu gave them a few vague excuses. Then the red-haired guy pulled out a card and said, "We all pitched in and raised a total of 1 million. You needed money, right?" Shu remembered how desperate he had been when he'd asked them for help earning 300,000, never expecting they'd take it so seriously. He smiled weakly and pushed the card back. "Thanks, but I don't need it now. I'm not planning to buy any new techniques. It's fine." Just then, another boy approached, the same arrogant one who challenged Shu on his first day. He handed Shu a card and said, "I heard you've been struggling financially. I only had 100,000 left, so take it. I also lost that match, so if you need anything else, I'll help however I can." Shu politely declined again, but the girl snapped, "Mu Hao, are you trying to steal our teammate away from us?" They started bickering until Mu Hao finally said, "Look, I actually feel bad about how I treated Shu on his first day. I challenged him without thinking. Now that I understand more, I want to make it right and be his friend." Sen nodded. "He's right. This guy used to bully and dominate everyone in class, but you were the first one to put him in his place. If he joins our team, you're okay with that, right? Shu smiled. No problem at all. Messiah said, then it's settled. You're officially our 4th member. Sen, being the team leader, grinned and said, since you're new, go grab me some water. Mu Hao frowned. Why should I? I beat you ages ago. The two immediately started arguing while Shu quietly chuckled. He thought, if I had lost that arena fight, I might have never experienced a day like this. These guys, they're actually really good people. The scene then shifted again. Zhu was training intensely. Sweat poured down his face as he thought, star energy drinks help us absorb energy into our bodies. But to truly internalize it, we need extreme physical training. That's why most Oracle students focus so much on fitness. But for me, it's even harder than I imagined. Even though I'm using all my training gear at full potential, it's not increasing my star energy absorption rate at all. If this continues, all that energy will just leak out and go to waste. He clenched his fists. That's exactly why so many rich kids can't level up. They can buy energy, but their bodies can't absorb it properly. If I don't find a way to increase my absorption rate soon, I'll never reach level 4 before the tournament. Just then, Sen walks up and says, Shu, do you want to spar with us? They say it helps boost absorption rate a little. Shu suddenly remembers how his blue eyes activated during a fight and thinks, if that's true, then I can't waste this chance. He nods and says, all right, I need your help. Sen looks surprised for a second. A while later, Jia activates her power, ready to strike with her plant ability. Purple energy swirls around her hands, while Sen activates his rendering fist, releasing a bright blue aura from his punches. Both of them rush towards Shu at the same time. Shu defends using only his hands and feet, blocking and countering. So yet, after about an hour, both Sen and Jia are exhausted, while Shu still has stamina left. Jia pants and says, I never thought you could handle both of us alone. Sen laughs and says, actually, this is a good way to train. We can understand each other's skills better and come up with new techniques. Just then, Mu Hao walks in and says, all right then, Shu Chen, I'm joining you guys too. The three team up and Shu thinks, just as I thought, by training like this, I can absorb Oracle energy faster. It's helping me and them both, a total win-win. But then he stops, looking down at his hand. He realizes their rate of absorbing spiritual star liquid is much faster than his. Maybe it's because the supplements we're given are full of impurities, he thinks. Out of 1,000 bottles of mixed star liquid, maybe not even one contains pure essence. Then he remembers Behemoth's power. When I borrow energy from Behemoth, the quality of that power is on another level. It's pure. What if I try absorbing that into my body? That power could stay within me forever. Shu decides to take the risk. As he borrows Behemoth's power, intense star energy starts gathering inside his body. It's way denser than I thought, he thinks, gritting his teeth. With this much energy, I could easily boost my eyes 2 levels higher. I need to circulate it carefully. Slowly, he begins absorbing it. His eyes start glowing with a brilliant blue light as that energy settles deep inside his core. I'm only trying to absorb a drop of Behemoth's power, he thinks, and it already hurts this much. I can't take more. I need to release some. He raises his hand, gathers energy, and suddenly unleashes it into the air. The explosion is so strong it shakes everything nearby. The others stumble back, staring in shock. Shu's name echoes through the room as they yell for him. Then Behemoth appears and growls, "Hey, did you just try to absorb my power?" Shu's body radiates waves of thunderous star energy as he says, "Yeah, but only as much as I could handle, and it's working." Behemoth narrows his eyes, astonished. He's still alive after absorbing my energy? Impossible. Any normal human's body would have exploded. Guess my fate really is tied to this boy. Shu now looks almost demonic, his aura crackling. We're then told about the Star Energy Supplement, a mixture of rare herbs and crystals designed to restore spiritual energy, enhance strength, and even heal injuries. Shu asks, "Boss Behemoth, did you say something?" Behemoth replies, "No, as long as you're alive, I've got no problem." Just then, their teacher rushes in, looking panicked. "What happened here?" The others quickly cover for Shu, saying, "We were just resting, and suddenly Zhu lit up like fire. That's how all this happened." The teacher frowns, thinking, "The star energy here is incredibly dense. Could it be?" He says, "Stay here, I'm bringing the detector." Moments later, Shu places his hand on the machine. It flashes level 3. Everyone gasps. They knew he was level 2 before, and now he's just broken through. The teacher runs off yelling, "He's the first level 3 oracle in our academy. I have to tell the principal." The girl, amazed, asks, "Tell me how you did that. I want to learn too." Shu smiles awkwardly and says, "It just happened during our sparring." But in his mind he's thinking, "Next time I'll have to do this secretly at home. I never thought it would cause such a mess." Everyone is fired up now, shaking Mu Hao by the shoulders, saying, "Come on, let's spar more. We'll break through too." Meanwhile, Shu tells Behemoth, "Whenever I borrow your power, you always get so mad. But today you're calm. Why's that?" Behemoth sighs. "I guess I'm slowly getting used to your reckless behavior. Besides, the stronger you get, the better it is for me. Just don't die." Shu takes a deep breath and says, "Don't worry. Your energy hasn't fully settled in my body yet. Once I completely absorb it, I'll borrow your power again, and then push for level 4. Behemoth just stares at him silently. The screen fades out, showing the date, July 12th, 2026. The tournament is only 55 days away. Shu continues training day and night, pushing himself while his friends practice beside him. Days pass quickly. Finally, September 6th, 2026 arrives, the day of the tournament. The massive stadium is packed with spectators. Shu's friends are already there, amazed by the size of the arena. Sen says, "Shu, you're only level 3. Are you really planning to fight in the level 4 division? The power gap is huge. If we had more time, we could have trained longer." Shu smiles and replies, "Don't worry. The principal said just joining this tournament is already a great honor. If I feel something's off, I'll withdraw." The others head toward their level 2 and 3 matches, saying, "If we finish early, we'll come back and cheer for you." Shu nods, "And if I'm done early, I'll come cheer for you guys too." Their paths split, leaving Shu standing alone in the corridor. He clenches his fists and says quietly, "All right, it's finally time. I have to be ready for this." Meanwhile, in the VIP room, Shu's principal arrives with the yellow-haired teacher. The principal says, "This is my first time in the VIP section. Our academy usually competes only in level 2 matches. I never thought we'd make it this far." Just then, another man walks in, a tall figure in a white shirt. The principal greets him. "Ah, how are you, Principal Wang?" We're told this white-haired man is Wang Mingyan, the principal of Zhenxiang Oracle Academy, and the same person who had once called Zhu's principal to share critical information. Zhu's principal thanks him for that. Wang smiles and says, "Our government wants to invest resources only in the best academies. That's why this year's battles will be especially fierce, to see which school stands out and earns those resources." As they talk, several more people enter the room. Someone whispers, "Look, we've got some new faces in the VIP section this year." Zhu's principal frowns and is about to respond angrily, but Wang quickly stops him, saying, "Don't argue with them. That's the principal of the academy that's won the last 3 tournaments in a row." Principal Hu said, "The competition isn't over yet, so who cares about the past? The real future will be decided today, by Shu himself." The principal of the previous year's champion academy, Principal Li, smirked and said, "Look at that. Some arrogant dogs barking already. But if you ask me, this is going to be their last time on stage. Just like every year, no one will see them again after this. They won't get another chance." The others around him looked over and smiled mockingly. Principal Hu sat down while the yellow-haired teacher beside him leaned closer, looking worried. "Sir," he asked, "do you really think our students can stand a chance against those elite academy students?" Principal Hu raised an eyebrow. "Don't you trust our students?" The yellow-haired teacher quickly replied, "Of course I do. Especially Shu Chen. He's a genius among geniuses." Principal Wang nodded with a calm smile. "Exactly. All we can do now is believe in them." The scene shifted to the audience, where the class monitor was holding up a board, cheering for Shu's academy. She thought nervously, "This is my first time here. I'm so nervous. I wonder what Shu Chen is doing right now." She remembered how shocked she was when she first heard he'd be participating in the tournament. "When I found out a week ago, I couldn't believe it," she thought. "He's become a school star now, even competing in the level 4 division. Why would someone like him still talk to an ordinary person like me?" As she walked down the stairs, her foot suddenly slipped, but before she could fall, someone caught her. It was Shu Chen. "Class monitor, you should be more careful," he said with a small smile. She blushed and thanked him. As Shu helped her carry the box she was holding, she stammered, "I thought after you transferred into the special class, you'd forget about us. You'd make new friends and move on." Shu turned his head slightly and said, "Status doesn't matter. A true friend will always be a friend." The class monitor was moved, her heart racing. "I always knew Shu wouldn't change," she thought. "His heart is pure. I know he's going to do something amazing in this competition." Just then, the announcer's voice echoed through the arena. "All contestants, please come to the stage." The girl looked up in surprise and spotted Shu walking confidently onto the stage. He looked calm and composed, a cool expression on his face. It was announced that he had just broken through to level 4, E rank. Then the host walked up, a man accompanied by a famous model. The crowd gasped. "Wait, is that really Lian? She's a huge idol." Lian smiled and waved, her presence lighting up the room. "Today, I'm not here as an idol," she said cheerfully, "but as your host, and the real stars today are our contestants." She continued, "Now, let's go over the rules. This year, 12 academies are participating. Each academy has sent 4 students, making a total of 48 contestants. 16 will compete in the Level 4 championship, while the other 32 will battle in the Level 3 division. All results from both divisions will be combined to determine each academy's final ranking. Every match will be one-on-one, and the winner moves to the next round. To make sure everyone gives it their all, we've added a time limit. Each battle will last no more than 30 minutes. Whoever stands victorious by then will be declared the winner." Then the host raised his hand and said, "Let's introduce the competition guardian." Everyone looked up at the large platform where a man stood. The host announced, "This is Bai Ai Hui, an S-rank oracle." The entire audience went wild. Bai Ai Hui was a legendary figure, someone who appeared on television often and was highly respected. He calmly raised one finger, and suddenly the ground at the center of the arena began to rise. Within seconds, a massive battle arena formed right before everyone's eyes. Then from the ground, several small stone pedestals emerged, each holding a green crystal stone. Every contestant was given one. The announcer explained, "These stones will generate a protective shield in case of a life-threatening attack. If a strike is too powerful, the stone will automatically protect the user." Shu looked at the S-rank oracle and thought, "So this is the kind of power an S-rank really has." He glanced at Behemoth, who looked completely calm. Shu smirked and thought, "Guess he's not impressed. Maybe this S-rank hero isn't as special as I thought." Then Lian's voice echoed again. "All right, let's begin the tournament." The first match started immediately. Rather than mention every academy's name, we'll just say, the first contestant finished his opponent in only 17 minutes. Up in the VIP room, the principals watched closely. Principal Hu commented, "This time, they've sent an S-rank master to assist. Looks like this competition's going to be intense." The white-shirted principal nodded. "You can tell by looking at the students. Their backgrounds are impressive. Some might even possess sea-level skills. That's why they had to bring in someone strong enough to keep the audience safe." He continued, "These principals invest heavily in their students so they can secure government subsidies and resources." Meanwhile, several other principals were seen flattering the champion school's principal. The white-shirted principal smiled slightly and said, "Still, I think our school might dominate this year, especially with Long Quinn on our side." The camera showed Long Quinn battling an opponent. At first she dodged every attack gracefully, then smiled and said, "All right, warm-up's over, let's get serious." In an instant, her opponent's entire body was trapped in a strange purple aura. The announcer shouted, "That's an ability-based combat technique. Even though Long Quinn is only level 4 E rank, she's already awakened this skill. That's incredible." Moments later, Long Quinn charged forward, kneeing her opponent with devastating force. The match was over in less than 5 minutes. Long Quinn had won. The crowd erupted with excitement. With that kind of power, no one can beat her. Principal Hu was stunned. That ability, only top-tier D-rank oracles can awaken something like that. Even our own teachers haven't managed to reach that level yet. His friend Wang laughed and said, "See? Out of millions, only one kid can actually awaken that type of monster's advanced power within themselves." Just then, Kasan, the principal from another academy who had ranked second last year, smirked and said, "What's so special about that? Probably just luck that he managed to awaken it." Wang immediately shot back, "Oh, really? If you'd known about him, wouldn't you have bought him off and enrolled him in your own academy? Come on, man, you're burning with jealousy. You should learn how to hide it better." That made the principal furious, but before he could say anything more, another principal stepped in and said, "All right, no need to argue over something this small. Calm down." Just then, the announcement came the sixth match was about to begin. It was between last year's champion, Wang Chuo, and a new challenger. And within just 5 seconds, the match was over. Wang Chuo had literally slammed his opponent straight into the ground with a single hit. The crowd went absolutely wild, realizing how brutal this competition was getting. The former champion smirked and said, "That was nothing more than an ant. Looks like this year's champion has already been decided." Zhongshan Academy's principal, excited and proud, said, "As expected from our leader's academy, his disciple is truly incredible." Ling Kuang, his rival principal, smirked sarcastically and replied, "We're not the type who bark too much, we let our actions speak for us." It was clearly a taunt aimed at Wang. Wang glared back and said coldly, "Just wait and see." Meanwhile, another principal, who thought to himself, "This battle is going far beyond anything we imagined. I doubt our academy even stands a chance. If Shu can just win one match, or at least stay standing on stage for a while, we'll consider that our victory and quietly leave." And soon the last match finally began. Shu Chen's match. As he slowly walked down the stairs, he muttered, "Didn't expect the final match would actually be mine." Behemoth said from within him, "No need to waste time. Use my power and end this fight in an instant." But Shu replied, "I can't draw too much attention right now. I'll have to fight while keeping a low profile. If I borrow your power, I'll hit level 5 instantly. That's too risky." Just then, a girl nearby said, "Looks like your luck's really bad." Shu recognized her immediately. She was that ability user he'd met before. She warned him, "Your opponent this time is Chongsaini Academy's Ling Qi. He ranked 2nd last year. Even D-rank fighters can't last long against him. Be careful and watch out for his signature move, the Thunderburst Kick. It can finish you in an instant. I know you've got that gemstone, but I doubt it'll save you. You saw Wang's match earlier, right? He ended it in 5 seconds flat." Shu asked, "Why are you warning me about all this?" "Still, thanks." The girl smiled faintly and said, "Your principal and ours are friends, so in a way that makes us comrades. Our goal is the same, to bring down those arrogant people and take first place for our academy." As she walked away, she added, "Do me a favor someday in return, and remember his biggest weakness is his stamina. If you can wear him out, the victory's yours. Good luck." Shu understood now his opponent possessed overwhelming power. When Shu entered the stage, the entire crowd erupted in excitement. The announcer's voice boomed, hyping up the match even more. Shu looked confused, wondering why everyone seemed so fired up. Then he realized the cheers weren't for him, but for his opponent, Ling Qi. Right then, a thunderous strike hit the ground behind him. Ling Qi landed, lightning crackling around him. The crowd went wild once again. His yellow hair glowed, marking him as a thunder-type ability user. Shu's face turned serious. Ling Qi floated mid-air while the announcer kept showering him with praise, and the audience chanted his name like a song. He even had a dedicated fan club that screamed louder than anyone else. Meanwhile, Shu's friend looked worried. Man, no one's cheering for Shu, and his opponent's got a whole fan club. Behind them, a girl sighed dreamily. "Just look at Ling Qi, he's so handsome, strong, and kind. Perfect in every way." Another girl frowned and said, "Please, just by looking at him I can tell he's hot-tempered and full of himself. Who'd want to be a fan of someone like that?" The first girl snapped back, "Oh, really? You think Shu Chen has fans? Because I am one. He's gentle and powerful, he just doesn't flaunt it. Sure, his face might not be perfect, but that doesn't mean you can insult him like that." The two girls started arguing fiercely, glaring at each other while shouting cheers for their favorite fighters. Two nearby students were stunned, whispering, "Wait, isn't that our class monitor? Since when did she become Shu Chen's fan?" Then the announcer hyped up the match again. Can the challenger defeat Ling Qi, the one who's always held 2nd place for years? Another announcer, Lilia, quickly interrupted him. "Hey, aren't you forgetting to introduce the other fighter?" The first announcer froze and said, "Oh, right. I got carried away with the crowd's energy and forgot all about him." He awkwardly announced Shu Chen's name next, adding that Shu had no past achievements, no special abilities, and no signature moves. It sounded more like an insult than an introduction. Hearing that, Shu looked stunned. "Would have been better if they'd just forgotten me entirely," he muttered. "Feels like I've got some kind of personal grudge with these announcers." The audience started murmuring in disappointment. I thought we were going to see an epic match, but this guy doesn't even have any skills, and his academy's competing here for the first time. Ling Qi's fan burst out laughing. So that's your idol? The guy with nothing? What a joke. Shu's supporter, the class monitor, clenched her fists in anger but couldn't say anything back. Meanwhile, Zhongshan Academy's principal smirked and said, "Didn't expect my academy's best student to face off against your rookie. Honestly, I feel bad that your first appearance here will end in defeat, but what can I do? I'm the principal, I have to stay diplomatic." The other principal sighed and patted him on the shoulder, saying, "Don't worry, you'll get another chance someday. Next year, you'll have to prepare even better." Basically, everyone had already assumed that Shu Chen was going to lose. Meanwhile, Ling Qi overheard it all and said calmly, "Look, I understand your situation. Honestly, I do feel bad for you, but I have my own responsibilities. I can't lose, not for myself, but for my academy." Shu replied, "There's no need for all that talk. Can we just fight?" Ling Qi smiled and said, "All right then, I'll use only 10% of my power. Try your best to put on a little show. That way, at least the crowd will get some entertainment." He stepped back confidently while Shu just stared at him in silence. The announcer went wild, yelling, "Ling Qi looks excited. Even before the fight officially starts, he's already charging in to attack." All right then, no point waiting any longer. The match begins. Ling Qi dashed forward in a flash, his punch stopping just inches from Zhu's face before he spun behind him. Then he struck from below with incredible speed. The commentators were completely stunned. They couldn't even follow his movements. It looked like Ling Qi had created multiple afterimages attacking Zhu from every direction at once. Even the girl in the stands was shocked by his insane speed. Meanwhile, Wang, the previous champion, was casually napping. His principal chuckled smugly and said, "Ling Qi is just warming up. His real power is far greater. I've invested heavily in him, and I doubt anyone besides Wang can even come close." Ling Qi stepped back a bit and said mockingly, "Hey kid, why aren't you moving? Can't you even see me?" Then he closed his eyes with a smirk. "Honestly, no one in this competition can even come close to me, except Wang. Anyway, I've had enough fun. Let's end this." He kicked off the ground, charging straight at Shu. Shu said coldly, "So, you're done playing games?" In truth, Ling Qi hadn't even been attacking seriously. He'd just been showing off, moving his arms and legs to the crowd's amusement. Shu smirked. "So, are you done with your warm-up?" That caught Ling Qi completely off guard. In the next instant, Zhu landed a clean, powerful punch right to his face. The commentators gasped in disbelief. Wang and the girl both tensed up, realizing this wasn't a normal fight anymore. The entire crowd was stunned. Ling Qi's tooth had been knocked out and he crashed to the ground, completely out cold. "Shu Chen just knocked out last year's second-place fighter with a single punch. Am I really seeing this?" One of the commentators shouted. The crowd erupted, some cheering Shu's name, others accusing him of cheating. "There's no way. Ling Qi can't lose like that unless this kid's using something." Shu himself looked confused. He thought, "That guy didn't even hit me once. He was just pretending to attack. What kind of strange competition is this? Are there secret rules I don't know about?" Principal Hu was speechless, and his colleague said, "Looks like you've been nurturing a real talent in your academy. That kid of yours is something else." Meanwhile, Ling Qi's principal shouted in anger, "Impossible! Among all fourth-level experts, Ling Qi is the fastest. How could anyone land a direct punch on him? You must have brought in an outside fighter, someone above level 4. Principal Hu smirked and replied, "Do you really think you're smarter than the government? Every participant here was thoroughly tested before being approved." Then the Champion Academy's principal said loudly, "Wait, look, the fight's not over yet." Everyone turned as Ling Qi slowly stood back up. Shu noticed it too. The announcer confirmed, "The match isn't over, it will continue." Ling Qi clenched his fists, activating his thunder energy. "I underestimated you," he said, electricity crackling around him. "Now I'll fight at full power." Lightning burst from his body, filling the entire arena. The energy forced Shu into a defensive stance. Suddenly, a massive thunder strike came flying at him, slamming into the ceiling before bouncing back down. Ling Qi's speed became so intense he turned into a blur, circling Zhu in a flash. The commentators shouted, "Looks like Ling Qi's about to unleash his ultimate move." Ling Qi grinned. "Get ready for my ultimate attack." He shouted, "Thunder roaring burst lightning kick," as thunder energy exploded under his feet. He charged towards Shu at blinding speed, but before he could land the strike, Shu countered with another devastating punch to Ling Qi's face. This time, the impact was so strong that Ling Qi's speed worked against him. He bounced violently between the floor and ceiling before crashing far away, unconscious. Shu said calmly, "You should have tried to hit me before showing off. I've already adapted to your speed. You can't hide from my eyes anymore." Ling Qi lay motionless. His green stone turned red. The announcer shouted, "And the winner of the final match is Shu Chen." The entire audience exploded in disbelief. None of them could even see the final punch. It was faster than their eyes could follow. Then the second round matches began. Lian from Oracle Academy won the first. Lao Qin won the second. In the third, Mu Hao fought brutally, leaving the crowd horrified. "Aren't they from the same academy?" someone said. "How could he attack his own like that?" Mu Hao glared back coldly, his bloodthirsty eyes making his opponents tremble. In the fourth match, Zhu faced a female fighter. She attacked rapidly with lightning-fast punches, but Shu dodged every one with perfect timing, then landed a single hit that knocked her out instantly. Watching from a distance, two officials began whispering suspiciously. "His power level feels higher than stage 4, one said. "Either he's taken some kind of enhancer, or he's suppressing his true strength. We'll need to run a check on him." "Right then," the announcer declared, "the semi-final match between Shu Chen and Lian Guang is about to begin." But before it could start, two government officials stepped onto the stage, holding up a scanning device. The audience started murmuring among themselves. "See, we already knew this guy must be using some kind of cheat. No one can win these matches so easily with just one move." Shu was also thinking that maybe he had gone a little too far, so he pulled back his power to level 4 again. After that, they ran a check on him. His power readings were completely stable, confirming he was still at the 4th level of E rank. Seeing that, the judges officially declared that Shu Chen hadn't used any kind of cheat. They left the stage while the announcer declared, "Shu Chen is completely normal. No cheating detected." The match was then resumed. Everyone in the audience was first shocked and then amazed, whispering, "So this guy really possesses that much power without using any kind of trick?" Next, a white-haired opponent stepped in front of Shu Chen. He thought, "This guy looks dangerous." And in the very next moment, boom, knocked out with a single punch. The commentators were now total fans of Shu Chen, praising him endlessly. The principal in the white outfit looked surprised and said, "Hey, Principal Hu, why didn't you tell me you were hiding such a powerful gem in your academy? This is incredible." Principal Hu, a little nervous, nodded with a shaky smile. From the side, other academy principals joined in, praising Shu Chen and even asking Principal Hu for training advice. Far away, the principals of last year's first and second place academies stared at Principal Hu in disbelief, clearly confused by what they were witnessing. Meanwhile, Principal Hu was smiling proudly to himself, thinking, "Shu, you've made me so proud. I honestly thought you'd lose in the first round, but look at you now. You've made it all the way to the finals." So yes, the last match was actually the semifinals. Shu Chen had now officially reached the final round. Then the scene shifted to the second semifinal, this one between Wang and Ling Ting. Ling Ting stepped onto the stage, thinking, "No matter what, I have to defeat this guy. I'll crush his arrogance." The two stood face to face. Wang gave him a devilish look, and the match began. From the audience, two girls screamed Ling Ting's name to cheer him on. Wang's eyes turned in that direction for a moment, and Ling Ting noticed it immediately. He thought, "This is my chance." Without wasting a second, Ling Ting rushed forward and unleashed a powerful palm strike straight to Wang's chest. But Wang didn't even flinch. He took the hit without a single scratch, looking at Ling Ting with a cold, almost demonic stare. Ling Ting was stunned. How could that attack do nothing? Before he could move again, Wang grabbed his hand and smirked. "So this is the most talented student from the 4th university?" Ling spun around and threw an elbow toward Wang's face, but Wang twisted his arm harder, saying, "Your attacks feel like mosquito bites to me." Ling gritted his teeth from the pain, then quickly activated his ability with his right hand. In an instant, Wang's entire body was wrapped in bright purple ribbons. Taking advantage of the bind, Ling moved back and activated his combat skill, Mint Binding Kick. A storm of countless kicks rained down on Wang. Because of the ribbons, Wang couldn't dodge even one strike. Ling stepped back, panting. Every one of my hits landed. He should be down by now. But because of the dust cloud, he couldn't see clearly ahead. And then suddenly, Wang appeared right behind him. "Are you done with your little game?" he said coldly. Ling barely had time to react. He spun around, but Wang was already in motion. He threw a powerful punch straight at Ling's arm. The impact was so massive that it sent Ling crashing into the arena's protective shield, cracking it instantly. Ling hit the ground hard, and the shattered pieces of the shield rained down. That one strike alone showed just how monstrous Wang's strength was. Even the commentators shouted, "We haven't seen a semi-final like this in years." Wang slowly walked toward Ling, step by step. In the crowd, the girls who had been cheering for Ling earlier started crying. They couldn't bear to watch their senior getting crushed like this and closed their eyes in despair. Everyone in the audience began praying to God, hoping that Ling could somehow hold her ground against that monster. On the other side, her principal was drenched in sweat, trembling as he muttered, "Ling Qing, you can do this. You have to stand strong out there." A little while later, Ling was completely helpless. Her body was covered in bruises, and she didn't even have the strength left to stand. Just then, a red-colored token fell to the ground beside her. Ling looked at it and whispered, "No, I can't lose yet. Maybe this is what's keeping me going." The scene shifted back to a few days earlier. It was raining heavily, and Ling was standing by a window. A few girls were sitting nearby, crying as they talked. Ling turned around and asked, "Hey, what's wrong with you guys? Why are you crying?" One of the girls looked up with tears in her eyes and said, "Senior, if the government stops funding our academy, I'll have to go back home. My family will probably force me into marriage. But I want to study. I want to become a powerful oracle. All my dreams will be shattered." Ling smiled and stepped forward. "Why are you all worrying? As long as your big sister is here, you don't need to be afraid of anything. I'll win that tournament for sure. The government will increase our funding, and soon, you'll all become oracles faster than ever." One of the girls looked up with hopeful eyes. "Big sister, are you serious?" Ling smiled. "Of course. Have I ever lied to you?" The girl reached into her pocket and pulled out a small lucky charm. "My mom gave me this. She said it brings strength and fortune to whoever carries it. Please, take it with you. We'll all be there to cheer you on at the tournament." Ling accepted the charm with a soft smile. "Thank you. I promise. I won't let you down." The scene returned to the present. Ling remembered all those moments and whispered, "No, I made a promise. I can't lose like this." She tried to reach for the charm, but her body refused to move. Just then, Wang stepped forward, crushed the charm under his foot, and sneered, "So this tiny trinket is what you're risking your life for? What a joke." Then he kicked Ling again. "Do you think your supporters are still cheering for you now?" Ling lay motionless on the ground, completely knocked out. The green crystal beside her turned red, signaling that she was no longer able to fight. The winner of the match was Wang. He gathered his energy into his leg and said coldly, "Well then, goodbye. Trash hero of your academy." The commentators panicked. "Someone stop him! The match is already over!" One of the girls in the audience screamed with her eyes shut, "No, this can't be happening." The entire crowd grew anxious. "What's that monster going to do now?" they cried. Ling's principal shouted desperately, "Please, someone stop him. She's our academy's only hope." At the same time, an officer turned to an S-rank hero nearby. "Master, don't you think we should step in? This could get really bad." The hero calmly replied, "No need, just watch." Wang swung his leg and unleashed a devastating kick toward Ling, causing a massive explosion that blasted a crater into the ground. But in the next shot, Zhu was seen stepping forward. He had intercepted the attack and saved Ling Ting. Wang turned with bloodshot eyes. "So, it's you, Shu Chen." Shu looked at him with a cold, serious expression, his eyes glowing blue. One of the commentators shouted, "Shu just entered the stage at the critical moment of the finals and saved Ling's life." The girl with bloody hair exhaled in relief, finally able to breathe again. Shu carefully carried Ling over and handed her to her principal. The principal, along with several others, thanked Shu deeply for saving her. The audience was furious now. "That Wang is a monster. Shu Chen, you're the only one who can stop him. Go out there and crush his arrogance." Wang smirked as he stepped forward. It doesn't matter who stands in front of me. Even if a few ants die among thousands, does it really change anything? Shu, your fate will be the same. Shu activated his power and said calmly, "Oh yeah? If that's what you really think, then come on, let's find out." As the doctors carried Ling away on a stretcher, the announcer's voice echoed through the arena. Both finalists are now on stage and ready to fight. The final match will begin right after we repair the arena. We'll take a short 5-minute break. The scene shifted to the audience. Shu's 3 special class friends had just finished their own matches and entered the stands. They met their old classmates, who looked both surprised and excited to see them. "Hey, what's going on in the tournament right now?" one of them asked. The class president explained, "Shu Chen made it to the finals, but honestly, I don't think he can win. His opponent is a complete monster." Principal Hao's friend said, "You'd better stay close. That monster might go after your girl next." Principal Hao himself called out to Shu, warning him to be careful. Shu, full of confidence, smiled slightly. He's the one who should be careful. Wang sneered, "Your academy's first time joining this competition, and you've made it to the finals. Impressive luck. But your background is weak, your resources are limited. Let me give you some advice. Walk away now, and you'll lose nothing." Shu replied casually, "Oh, really? Looks like your academy teaches more than fighting. They also teach trash talking and giving advice. Interesting kind of training you've got there." That comment made Wang furious. The announcer declared the start of the final match. Both Zhu and Wang released their power at once. The ground shook as Wang charged forward with such speed that it caused a small explosion beneath his feet. Then his punch connected straight with Shu's face. The impact was massive, cracking the ground beneath them. Wang laughed. "I thought I'd get to fight you a little longer, but looks like one punch is enough to finish you off." But then sweat began to drip down Wang's face. Shu stood there, completely unharmed, staring back with an intense glare. And he said coldly, "Someone as weak as you entered this tournament. You should go play with the kids. You're not even worthy of fighting me yet." He followed with a tiger claw strike, which Wang narrowly dodged. Wang then activated his combat skill, Boiling Blood. His arms turned red, radiating heat. The two clashed in a fierce, close-range brawl, each punch exploding like a bomb. The commentators were stunned. "I've been covering this tournament for 10 years, one shouted, "and I've never seen a fight like this. Shu doesn't even look like a rookie from a first-time academy." Meanwhile, Shu's 2 friends looked on, worried. The red-haired one muttered, "Shu didn't even show us his full strength back then." Mu Hao replied, "But there's only 1 level difference between us. How can there be such a huge gap in power?" Then the scene showed Zhu's punch flying straight toward Wang, and in the next instant, Wang was sent reeling, wounded. Seeing this, Principal Hu started sweating nervously, while the yellow-haired teacher beside him exclaimed in shock, "I knew it from the start. Shu was something special, but I never thought he could go toe-to-toe with a top-tier 4th-level ability user. No, to be honest, he's actually overpowering him." Blood trickled from Wang's mouth as he muttered, "Did someone actually land a hit on my face? I can't believe this. This low-level academy kid hit me. I refuse to accept that." Furious, Wang pushed his ability to its maximum limit, entering berserk mode. His entire body turned crimson, making him look like a raging monster. Behind Shu, Behemoth appeared and explained, "He's spreading the star energy throughout his entire body. For a short time, his power level will rise by 1 tier. This is a real combat skill." At that moment, Wang charged forward. His speed skyrocketed so fast he practically vanished from sight. Shu noticed it immediately and muttered, "No matter how fast you move, you can't escape my perception ability." Then the story explained Shu's special ability. His mind and senses go hyperactive for a short period, letting him analyze and predict everything in extreme detail. Meanwhile, the government officer watching said, "Wang's energy intensity is increasing rapidly. Shouldn't we check his level?" But the S-rank master beside him shook his head. "No need. He's using a family combat skill. It temporarily gives him the strength of a 5th star, but since he's not using any external supplements, it's completely within the rules. He's not cheating." The officer nodded and apologized. The S-rank master then said thoughtfully, "Now this is getting interesting. I want to see how that new kid, Zhu Chen, handles this. I have a feeling he still hasn't shown his full power yet. I want to see his true limits." Inside the arena, chaos erupted. Their movements became so fast they couldn't even be seen clearly. Both were trading countless blows in a blur. Shu's friends were sweating nervously, anxious for him. The red-haired guy said, "Looks like Shu is taking all of Wang's hits head-on." But Mu Hao quickly corrected him. "No, look closely. He's sliding past the strikes. He's not taking damage. He's dodging perfectly." And indeed, when Wang swung his punch, Shu barely tilted aside, evading it by a hair's breadth. To the crowd, it looked like Wang's hits were landing, but in truth, it was all part of Shu's setup. Shu then released his own arm and launched a massive punch straight toward Wang's chest. Wang crossed both arms to block, but the sheer pressure of Shu's strike drove his feet deep into the ground. Shu prepared for another blow, but Wang, enraged, snarled, "This is your first time in this tournament, and you've pushed me this far, but you haven't seen my true power yet." He unleashed his aura to its ultimate state, fully ascending into a 5-star rank oracle. Shu stepped back and smirked. "So this is your final trump card?" He then borrowed power from Behemoth and added, "But you haven't even seen mine yet." And in that instant, Shu's energy surged. He too reached 5-star level. Wang moved again, faster than before, gathering all his power into his fists. Shu did the same, forming a dense ball of aura energy around his punch. Both of them lunged forward and collided head-on. A massive explosion of force erupted from the impact. Shu spoke calmly amidst the chaos. "I can see it now. Your punches, your technique, your entire energy flow, it all runs through your heart, which means that's your weak point." Then Shu darted forward, driving his elbow straight into Wang's chest. Blood gushed from Wang's mouth, and his body staggered backward. But Shu didn't stop there. He jumped up, gathering all his energy into his hand for a final attack. Aha! Wang raised both arms to block, struggling. "This is impossible," he thought. "His power keeps rising every second. I can't drag this fight any longer. But no matter what, I won't lose." Sweat and tears streamed down his face as he shouted, "No one can defeat me. I'm the strongest." His entire body flared with rage energy and his eyes glowed red. Shu gave him a serious look and said coldly, "No matter what you do, you're losing today." With that, he poured every ounce of his strength into his fist. Aura energy burst from his hand, overflowing wildly. Wang did the same, and the two fists collided. The resulting explosion was devastating, so powerful that cracks formed across the arena walls. Even the principals and teachers had to shield themselves from the shockwave. Principal Hu, awestruck, whispered, "Is this really our Shu Chen? What kind of power is this? He's only level 4. As the smoke began to clear, someone stood in the middle of the arena. It was Wang. The announcer shouted, "It's Wang! He's still standing, so does that mean—" But before he could finish, Wang fell to his knees. The green crystal by his side turned red and shattered on the floor. The announcer declared, "Wang is unable to continue the match." When the dust finally settled, Shu was still standing, breathing hard but steady, a serious look on his face. The announcement echoed through the arena. "The last man standing in the final match is Shu Chen. Everyone congratulate Shu Chen, the winner of this year's tournament, representing the 4th Division from Lethal Oracle Academy." The scoreboard lit up. Lethal Academy had won with a historic performance, scoring 200 points. Shu's friends jumped and screamed with joy. The two girls grabbed each other's hands and said, "We knew Shu could do it." Shu's teachers celebrated proudly. "Shu Chen, you made us all proud." Principal Hu congratulated him warmly, his eyes tearing up. "Looks like we won't need to beg the government for subsidies anymore," he said with a laugh. The class teacher looked at him and thought, "Our principal really does care deeply for this academy. He's truly a good man." Principals from other schools approached with smiles. "Let's go congratulate Principal Hu. With a champion like this, their academy will dominate the future." Meanwhile, the principal of last year's champion academy sat in disbelief, furious and humiliated. The sycophantic principal who used to flatter him stood behind, unsure which side to take. But within seconds, he made up his mind and rushed over to join the others in congratulating Principal Hu and Lethal Academy's new champion, Shu Chen. Seeing that, the first principal was completely shocked. "How could you just leave me like that?" he shouted. On the other side, the S-rank hero was already walking away, saying, "Well, the tournament's over, so there's nothing left for me to do here. I'm heading out." The government officer nodded and gave him permission to leave. As the hero was walking away, he thought to himself, "That kid Shu? He's really something special." Then suddenly his eyes shifted to the side. In the distance, he noticed an old man and a woman standing together. The hero thought, "So, you two finally showed up. Don't tell me you're here because of Shu." The old man spoke up. "I never thought we'd find such incredible talent hidden in an outer district. You've really impressed me. Linen, I heard you already know this boy. Are you planning to bring him into your guild?" Standing beside him was a white-haired girl. She nodded and said softly, "A long time ago, when we were kids, Shu Chen and I were neighbors. We used to play together all the time, but after my family moved away, we lost contact. Recently we met again in the Blackwater district, but he didn't recognize me. I guess he's forgotten who I am." She was a beautiful girl, her expression calm yet determined. "No matter what," she said, "I'll make sure he joins my guild." The scene shifted to the celebration ceremony. All the principals and their top students were standing proudly on the leader's platform, surrounded by cheering crowds and reporters flashing cameras everywhere. They were talking about the matches, the results, and the future of their academies. Then Principal Hu stepped forward and said, "Now, Shu Chen will say a few words." The camera panned toward Shu. He looked incredibly awkward, thinking, facing the camera is even harder than fighting in the finals. He couldn't think of what to say, so he just gave a small, nervous smile. The next scene shifted to the following day, inside the principal's office. Every newspaper headline showed Shu Chen's awkward picture. Shu had come to meet the principal that morning. The principal handed him the black stone and said, "You finally saved our academy. This is what you asked for, right? If this item can truly help you, then from this day on, it's yours." Inside, Behemoth was cheering with joy. The principal continued, "Soon you'll start receiving invitations from the inner district academies. You'll graduate from here and move on to bigger places, but don't ever forget this academy." Shu smiled and nodded in agreement. A little later, as he stepped outside, he saw someone waiting near the gate. It was his group of friends. They all had letters in their hands. Shu asked, "Wait, isn't today a holiday? I just came by to handle some stuff. What are you all doing here?" His friends laughed and said, "We just came to see you, of course." Then they hugged him tightly and continued, "Can you believe it? After the school tournament, all the inter-district academies sent us admission offers, no entrance exams, nothing. Even the top 5 academies invited us." Shu smiled gently. "That's all because of your skills and strength. You earned it. Congratulations to all of you." The red-haired boy smirked. "Nah, you're the real reason our academy's name shines so bright now." Then, pretending to cough, he added, "Just don't forget us when you move to another academy, okay? One day, we'll build the strongest team together." Shu looked a little confused, but smiled anyway. The pink-haired girl jumped in, excited. "You know, no academy usually shares their training secrets with students from other schools. But if we all stay connected, we can exchange what we've learned and grow even stronger together. So, are you in?" Shu smiled warmly. "Of course. Without you guys, I'd be bored out of my mind. Besides, who else would be my sparring partners?" Everyone laughed and cheered. Just then, someone else approached. It was their old class leader. She ran up, full of energy, saying, "I want to get stronger too. Let me join your team." The scene changed again, showing the special training gym. Shu's friend, the class monitor, was looking around in awe. "I can't believe I actually get to train here," she said. Then, looking at Shu, she smiled. "Thank you so much for helping me. You talked to the principal just once, and he actually agreed." Shu laughed. "It wasn't a big deal. I just mentioned it to him, and he said yes, right away." The girl bowed respectfully toward the principal, saying, "Thank you so much, sir." The principal smiled. "No need to thank me. From now on, this class will become open for all. Any student from our academy can come here to train, and those who graduate from here will also get some support for their higher studies." He added proudly, "On top of that, we're going to reorganize and reform the entire academy, make it more beautiful, more advanced. Our education standards will rise to a whole new level. Finally, I can do everything I always dreamed of doing, and it's all possible because of that competition victory. So, thank you all." Everyone smiled warmly at him. The yellow-haired teacher sighed and said, "It always happens like this. Every time we graduate, that's when the school gets upgraded. We never get to enjoy it. What a shame." The principal laughed. "Oh, don't worry. The doors of this academy will always be open for you. You can come back any time." Then the pink-haired girl turned to Shu. "Hey Shu Chen, the competition's already over. Why are you still training so hard?" Behind them, the red-haired guy was lost in thought, clearly imagining something else. And yes, you could totally guess what he was thinking. He looked a little jealous, too. Just then, Shu's shy friend Zhao spoke softly. "You know, I always thought I had no real talent. I figured I'd just keep living an average life. But after watching all of you fight and push yourselves so hard, I've made up my mind. I want to be just as cool as you guys. I've always wanted to go into liberal arts, so I'm going to apply to the top 5 great academies as a special cultural student." It was explained that special students only needed to reach level 2 to qualify for admission. Zhao continued, "The application deadline is just 1 month away. I'll use all my time to prepare and try to get in, and even if I fail this year, I'll work twice as hard next year." Hearing that, the pink-haired girl teared up. "Don't worry, I'll always be with you. I know you'll make it." The two boys rolled their eyes at her, overacting, but smiled. "Yeah, and if you ever need help, we've got your back. Don't forget us either." Then the red-haired boy turned to Shu. "So, Shu, have you decided which academy you're going to join?" Shu replied calmly, "Actually, I haven't received any invitation letters yet." Everyone went silent. The red-haired boy looked stunned. "Wait, what? How's that even possible? You're the most talented one among us. We all got our letters the day after the tournament." Just then, the principal, who'd been listening the whole time, cleared his throat and said, "Oh, right, I almost forgot. Here you go, Shu Chen, your admission letter." He smiled and handed Shu a red envelope. Shu took it and his friends got super excited. "Sir, look at this. Even the letter looks so special. Hurry, open it. We want to see which university it's from." When Shu opened the letter, it said he'd been invited to enroll at Dawn University. Along with it, there was also a sleek golden card. The red-haired guy suddenly yelled, "What? Dawn Academy? That's the biggest university there is. It's like the father of all 5 top academies combined." Because of his shout, Shu and the pink-haired girl were both stunned. Shu blinked and said calmly, "Can you explain that to me? I've never even heard of this academy before." The red-haired guy was sweating nervously. "How can you be so clueless? There are 5 great academies in our entire country: Morning Star Academy, Watcher Academy, Red Lion Academy, Sky Academy, and Alpha Academy. Each one has its own power and privileges, but behind all of them, there's a hidden academy called Dawn Academy. If Dawn chooses a student, none of the other 5 academies are allowed to send that person an admission letter, not until Dawn's own admission deadline has passed." Shu looked shocked. "So if it's that powerful and important, why do people only talk about the 5 academies? Why not 6? The principal explained, "Because Dawn Academy stands above them all. It's on a completely different level. There's no comparison. Students of Dawn don't just train in regular facilities. They train directly inside the rifts. That's something no other academy students are allowed to do." As soon as he mentioned the word rift, everyone around gasped. Shu looked puzzled. "Rift? What's that?" The principal's tone grew serious. "Some time ago, during a major conference, an agreement was made. No one in the outer cities is allowed to share any information about the rifts, but since you'll all soon be entering the inner zones, it's fine for you to know about them now." One of Shu's classmates raised his hand and asked, "But I didn't get an invitation. Am I still allowed to hear this?" The principal nodded. "It's fine, as long as you don't share it outside." Then he began explaining, "A rift is formed when a crack appears in space itself. From that crack, monsters from other worlds pour into ours. These space fractures are what we call rifts. Anyone who enters and fights inside them, or clears one, earns massive fame and recognition. But make no mistake, entering a rift means risking your life. Many never come back." His expression darkened. "I once had a team that went into a rift with me, but we faced a creature so terrifying that we lost nearly everyone. I've never fully recovered from that day. That's why I quit entering rifts and disbanded the team." He looked back at Shu. "Students from regular universities can enter the rifts only during certain exams, but the exams at Dawn Academy are far more dangerous. Every year, many students die during them. So Zhu, I'm asking you to reconsider. You can still reject this invitation. Another university would definitely take you. I don't want to see you throw your life away." Shu stared at the Dawn University envelope in his hand, then lifted his head and said firmly, "No, I'm going. A place where I can gather wealth and power faster than anywhere else. There's no way I'm passing that up." The principal smiled softly. "I knew you'd say that. My instincts tell me you're destined to become a great warrior someday." The red-haired guy laughed and hugged Shu. "And hey, we're not getting left behind. We'll work our butts off in our own academies so that one day we can form a team together and enter the rift side by side." Shu looked back at his letter. "Wait a sec. It says the last date is September 16th? He was shocked. "That's so soon. Normally admissions last until November." The principal nodded. "Yes, Dawn Academy's rules are quite different. You'd better get used to surprises from now on." Shu immediately stood up. "Then I better start preparing right now. I don't have time to waste. Sorry, but I won't be able to make it to the college reunion." Everyone waved him goodbye. A little later, Shu reached home. He sat down and started checking the list of things he needed to take with him to Dawn University. In front of him, a strange dark energy began flowing. Shu's eyes widened as he noticed it. It was Behemoth, absorbing energy from the black stone he'd collected at Lethal Academy. Suddenly, a monstrous hand emerged from Behemoth's portal. One of its massive fingers touched the stone's glowing aura and pulled it away, separating it from the core. The stone fell to the floor, shattering into pieces. Shu froze in shock. "What the hell? You just destroyed the stone I worked so hard to get." Just then, Behemoth said, "Hey, I already absorbed all the power that was inside that stone, so now it's basically useless." Then he asked, "By the way, did you finish what you went to school for?" Shu took a deep breath and nodded. "Yeah, I did. I got invited by Dawn Academy to enroll. It's a place full of resources and ways to make money fast. With that, I'll finally be able to pay off all my debts. But there's something else. They were talking about something called a rift. Even the principal and teachers seemed scared of it. Do you know what that is?" Behemoth laughed. "Rift? That's nothing to be afraid of. It's actually pretty simple. The oracles and the creatures that live inside the rifts, they're basically the same type. Both of them draw their power from the rifts. Even the starlight energy inside you originally came from there." Shu chuckled. "Well, looks like your first wish has been granted. Does that mean I get some kind of life-saving reward now?" Suddenly, a fiery contract appeared in midair. It said that Behemoth's first wish had been fulfilled. Behemoth gave him a sideways look. "What do you think I am? Some kind of Doraemon who gives you whatever you want whenever you ask for it. But fine, since you're about to enter the rift, I won't hold back this time. The power I just regained from that crystal should be enough to give you a decent reward. So, kid, get ready." He began channeling a strange dark energy into Zhu's body. The energy spread like a shadow wrapping around him. A strange portal formed beneath Zhu's feet, releasing waves of darkness that slowly seeped through his entire body. Then a notification appeared. A fragment of the authority of creation is being granted to Zhu. Another followed right after. Zhu's current body grade is E rank, level 4, insufficient to withstand the authority, beginning body transformation. Zhu stared at the strange notifications, sweating nervously as the process continued. His body trembled as another message popped up. "Breakthrough complete. From E rank level 4 to E rank level 6. User can now wield the authority." A surge of dark purple energy burst from his body. It was almost unbearable. When the transformation finally ended, Zhu read the new information about his ability. The authority of creation had once belonged to a demon god named Xiaosuto. With it, he could generate power according to his own will. Behemoth smirked. "Xiaosuto was actually a friend of mine. He gifted me that power once. Basically, this ability reshapes your body and genes to match whatever you're most suited for. Trust me, it'll be incredibly useful for you. You'll be able to draw out whatever kind of power you need at any given moment." Shu grinned. "That means I'll have access to tons of different powers, but that also means it'll take way more effort to reach the next level, right?" Behemoth replied, "You think leveling up is everything. Levels only strengthen your body, give you more stamina and endurance. What really matters is potential. When someone breaks into D rank, they awaken their true potential. If your potential is weak, it doesn't matter how high your level is. You'll never be truly strong. That's why I gave you this authority, to help you awaken a powerful potential, and someday you'll be useful to me too." He continued, "Remember that girl from the competition, Ling Queen? She already awakened her potential ability long before now. Compared to that, your current ability, Hypersense, is weak. In real battles, especially inside rifts, you won't be fighting just one monster at a time. You'll be attacked from every direction. That's why special abilities are so important. Through your potential, you'll be able to control your abilities using your mental strength. Got it? The rest is up to you. Shu opened his system panel. Huh, I can't see the starlight flowing through my body anymore. It's like my whole body has been rebuilt, and the system panel looks totally different now. He noticed new options, like shop and manage, but they were locked until he reached D rank. There was also a rank option. The system said he could use points to level up. To go from E rank to D rank, he needed 2,000 points, but right now he had 0. According to the system, the only way to earn points was by absorbing the souls of rift creatures. Shu sighed. So I can't cheat my way through this system, huh? Guess I can't just rely on starlight energy anymore. Looks like I have no choice but to enter the rifts myself. Behemoth laughed. You don't seem too impressed by the gift I gave you. Alright, fine. Since it's not that useful to you right now, I'll give you one more present while completing a few of my remaining wishes. He finished all 7 of his wishes, which meant that by contract he could reward Shu again. This time he granted him a magical armor. Shu watched as dark energy circled his body, wrapping around his hands. A sleek blue armor materialized, bonding directly with his soul. That meant he didn't have to wear it manually. It would summon itself whenever he needed it. Through this armor, his strength, speed, and defense all increased. Shu flexed his hand and said, "This is amazing. It not only protects me but also enhances my skills." Behemoth nodded. "All the power I absorbed from that stone, I've already invested it in you, so don't disappoint me." Shu smiled confidently. "Don't worry, I won't." The next day, a taxi pulled up. Shu, carrying his luggage, was ready to leave for the airport. His teachers and friends came to see him off. "I'm sorry," Shu said, "but I really don't have any time left. I don't think I'll be able to attend the farewell party." The principal replied, "That's fine. But I'll say it again. There's still time to change your mind. Once you step into that academy, you won't be able to leave whenever you want. And if you ever need help, don't hesitate to reach out to me." Shu nodded. "I've already made up my mind. I'm joining Dawn Academy. But yes, there's one thing you can help me with." He pulled out a letter. "My mom's in the hospital. If you see my older sister, please give this to her." The principal asked, "They're your family, right? Why not give it to her yourself?" Shu smiled faintly. "We had a bit of a fight. I can't face her right now." The principal sighed, but smiled kindly. "All right, I understand. Your family's been through a lot. If they need anything, I'll try to help." His friends waved goodbye. "After 6 months, once our exams are over, we'll definitely meet again." Shu waved back and got into the car. As he reached the airport, he learned that to enter the mid-city, he needed a visa, or at least a document showing the reason for his travel. Shu explained to the officers that he was going there to enroll in college. The receptionist thought to himself, "But the admission period for the college hasn't even started yet, so why is he here?" He then asked, "Do you have any proof of admission?" Shu immediately took out the Dawn University card that came along with his letter. The receptionist looked at the card and sweat started dripping down his cheeks. He thought, "I've worked here for so many years, but I've never seen an actual admission card from Dawn Academy before. Could it be that this ordinary-looking boy is really getting admitted into such a prestigious academy?" Shu noticed the expression on his face and got confused. He opened his bag and said, "Wait, if you don't believe me, I also have the admission letter with me." But the receptionist quickly said, "No, there's no need for that. I apologize, you can go right ahead. Your way is this direction." Shu then asked, "But where's my plane ticket?" The receptionist explained, "For those who receive an invitation from that academy, the government provides a free flight ticket. However, when you return, you'll have to buy your own ticket. So go on now." Shu left, and even on the plane he was seated in first class. Smiling, he said, "Just look at this. I never even dreamed of sitting in such an expensive seat." Then, with a serious expression, he muttered, "Seems like Dawn Academy is really influential. I'm just wondering what kind of university this actually is." As the plane slowly entered Mid-City's airspace, the announcement said they'd reach the city by 10 a.m. the next morning. The scene shifted to the next day, where Shu arrived at Dawn Academy's gate with his luggage. Looking around, he said, "Isn't this place a bit too quiet? I can't even hear a sound." He walked over to a man standing by and said, "I'm a student. Could you please tell me where I'm supposed to register?" The man replied, "Can I see your card?" Shu showed him the admission letter. The man smiled and said, "So, you're Shu. I've been waiting for you. Come with me." Shu looked puzzled. Waiting for me? I don't even remember ever seeing this guy before, he thought. The man said, someone's waiting to meet you, so come with me. They walked to the center of a large field where a huge stone stood. The man pointed to it and said, you need to place your card on this stone tablet. Shu looked at it, amazed. I've read stories about stones that open hidden paths. Is this one of those? He asked. The man replied, you'll find out soon enough. Just step forward, but be careful. Your head might feel a bit dizzy. Shu touched his card to the stone, and suddenly a strange purple energy started forming a structure. Then, like a blossom blooming, his whole body began to fade away. Shocked, Shu found himself standing before a massive, luxurious castle. They had crossed to the other side of the stone. Shu realized, so that stone was actually a teleportation gate. The man nodded. Exactly. The previous place wasn't the real academy. This is... Dawn Academy is located so far away that even planes can't reach it, and traveling there normally would take months. That's why we use this teleportation gate. It helps us move back and forth easily. You'll have plenty of time to learn about these things later. For now, follow me. They entered a large white mansion. Inside, the man said, Miss Lin, I brought the person you asked for. At a grand table sat a girl with white hair, with 2 students standing beside her. The white-haired girl smiled at Shu and said, Shu Chen, it's been a while. Do you remember me? Shu instantly recognized her. It was the same girl he had met in the black market. Of course, he said. I've been meaning to thank you for saving my life back then. I just never thought you'd be my senior at the same college. Then a girl with purple hair standing nearby spoke. I've already transferred the payment to your account, so you can leave now. The man smiled and said, all right then, I'll let you all talk. And he walked away. Shu smiled politely and said, Senior Lin, you called me here personally. May I ask why? Before Lin could answer, a green-haired boy interrupted. Hold it right there. Who gave a weakling like you permission to speak directly to Miss Lin? Lin's eyes narrowed and she said sharply, Ming Chang, watch your tongue. Shu Chen is my guest. She then looked back at Shu and said, Please have a seat. But Shu's mood had already soured. No need, he said firmly. Whatever you want to say, just say it here. Lin closed her eyes briefly and nodded. All right, since you want to get straight to the point, I will. Listen, our guild is currently looking for new members, and we'd like you to join us. As for the offer, we're prepared to pay 300 million won. Shu was stunned by the number. He thought, I've heard that hunters get recruited by guilds, but the average salary is around 10 million won. This is insane. Even the green-haired boy beside him was shocked. Miss Lin, this is madness, he exclaimed. You could recruit a high B rank or even an A rank hunter with that kind of money. What's the point of bringing in some trash from the outer district? Are you joking? The scene shifts to the assembly hall. This hall had an old-class, luxurious vibe that immediately caught the eye. Just then, a red-haired guy ran his fingers through his hair and said, I didn't expect to be the last student to walk in here. But you know how it is. Heroes or protagonists always show up last. Anyway, let's see what's going to happen in today's assembly. With a serious look, he thought to himself, I heard the eldest daughter of the Ling family studies here too. I should try to build a closer relationship with her. Maybe I'll even get a chance to marry her someday. That would really help my family's business grow in the future. Then he glanced at Shu and thought, look at this guy's cheap outfit. He must be really weak. Perfect. The weaker the people around me are, the stronger I'll feel. I'll sit next to him today. Right then, the professor walked into the hall and said, looks like everyone's here. I won't drag this lecture for too long, so let me get straight to the point. My name is Jung Yi, and I'll be your guide professor for this week. But don't assume I'll teach you everything directly. You'll have to work on your own. You'll participate in tests, classes, and some mandatory events. Other than that, you can do whatever you want. Our academy will never stop you. He continued, since you're here, it clearly means you're all geniuses from your own regions. But forget your past glory for now. Every boy and girl in this academy may be a harder worker than you, and now you're going to face something completely new. Rifts. To put it simply, oracles can either hunt monsters inside the rift, or become the hunted. He explained that normal weapons don't work inside rifts. Only weapons forged from rift materials can harm the monsters. Dawn Academy gathers oracles from around the world and acts as a wall between the rifts and the human world. Students can read more in the library if they want deeper knowledge. combat training for the rifts would be done in the simulation room. He added, "Not everything here is mandatory, but remember, the more you learn about rifts, the stronger you'll become and the higher your chances of survival. One mistake, and you could lose your life. If any of you are scared, you may leave now. Other academies will gladly take you." He scanned the students' eyes and said, "But you're not afraid. I can see the passion in every single one of you. I respect that. Congratulations, you've passed your first test, and here's your first reward from the academy." Strange crystal-like drops appeared in front of each student. The professor said, "These are skill stones. Just absorb them. The moment you break them, the skill inside will merge with your body. This one contains a universal combat technique." Shu also crushed his stone. A system notification appeared, informing him that he had acquired the skill Inside Eye, which allowed him to read the click language, also known as the Rift language. The professor said, "Don't celebrate yet. This was only the first test. You still have 2 more. For the freshman entrance exam, you'll clear a low-level Rift, and within 6 months you must break through to D rank. You'll activate your potential and receive 100 credit coins for it." A nervous girl said, "Just 6 months to reach D rank? But I'm only at E rank, 3rd stage. How am I supposed to do that?" Another green-haired boy added, "I'm at the 4th stage of E rank, and even I'm feeling the pressure." Meanwhile, the red-haired guy smirked, thinking, "I'm at the 5th stage of E rank. Reaching D rank won't be hard for me. I doubt anyone in this batch is higher than me." On the other hand, Shu thought, "I'm already at the 6th stage of E rank, but I can't depend on normal supplements. I need a way to enter the rifts. Only then can I break through quickly." While the students talked among themselves, an officer yelled, "Silence! There's nothing to fear. The academy will provide high-level resources at prices much cheaper than the outside market. You'll decide where to invest your credits, and you'll have mentors to guide you." He then signaled the people outside to enter. A girl with flowing white hair stepped inside, her beauty leaving everyone stunned. It was Miss Nalin. The professor said, "These are senior students from higher years. They'll be your mentors and guide you. You can choose your supervisor freely, and they'll also organize your entrance exam." The new students whispered excitedly. One guy said, "Is she really here?" Another said, "I can't believe I'm seeing her in person." Just then, a bespectacled boy in front of Shu asked his seatmate, "Who is that white-haired girl? Why is everyone acting so excited about her?" The other guy says, "What? You don't know? She's the future owner of the MANHWA Guild. She's going to become the future guild mistress. If her eyes ever land on you, consider your future filled with glory, because you might even get the chance to join her famous guild." Shu listens quietly and learns that the MANHWA Guild is actually one of the top 4 guilds in the entire country. Just then, a guy stands up and says, "Miss Lin, I joined this academy hoping you'd choose me as your supervisor. Please, will you be my mentor?" Miss Lin looks at him and says, "Judging from how you talk, you're probably a strength-type oracle. But unfortunately, I'm from the magic department. I'm a mage. I can't guide you." The guy collapses back into his seat in defeat. Right behind him, a green-haired boy asks excitedly, "Senior Lin, I'm also a strength type, but if you accept me, I'll practice magic too and become a dual ability user. So will you be my mentor?" The girl rejects him as well and says she knows nothing about strength-type training. Only magic users can be under her. And so the pattern continues. Lin keeps rejecting every single student. Watching this, a girl whispers, "Looks like the top-tier guilds in this country have insanely high selection standards. I don't think any of us have a chance. We should choose another mentor." Meanwhile, the professor is starting to get irritated. He thinks she does this every single year. He whispers sharply to Lin, "I'm warning you this year. If you still don't choose even one new student, I can't help you. Your assignment result will be terrible." Lin, clearly stressed, nods reluctantly. Then her sharp eyes lock onto someone none other than Shu. She thinks, "What should I do? Should I really pick him out of everyone here?" On the side, the bloody-haired boy is imagining things. "Good, let her reject everyone first. Once she sees my handsome face and talent, she'll definitely choose me. I'll wait till the very end. She'll have no choice but to pick me." But while he's lost in his strawberry-flavored daydreams, Shu suddenly stands up and says, "Senior Miss Lin, I don't just want your guidance. I want to stand by your side. Will you be my supervisor?" The meaning behind his words sounded different. Even Lin blushes a little hearing it. Meanwhile, the rest of the class smirks and mocks him. Dinah, is he dumb? Miss Lin just rejected so many people already. And look at how he introduced himself. Does he even have manners? But then Lin answers, "All right, I accept you." Every guy in the room freezes, their jaws dropping. With a glowing smile, Lin adds, "For this year, I'm choosing only you." The bloody-haired boy looks like he just got hit by a truck. No, that's impossible. Why would she choose only him? What was her criteria? A little later, the assembly ends and we cut to the mission hall beautifully lit, with a glowing lamp above a water fountain. People walk around, and among them, Shu is walking with Lin. Shu asks, "Senior Lin, I heard you're the future guildmaster of one of the biggest guilds in the country. I'm sure you're not lacking high-level oracles, so may I know why you chose a rookie like me, someone who's just E rank?" Lin says, "I'm not recruiting you only for my guild. I have some personal reasons too. I'll explain after your test. For now, focus on passing the entrance exam. And look ahead, I've already arranged everything." She points toward a small group. "Asu, these are the teammates who will enter the rift with you for your test." The group starts introducing themselves. A short-haired girl introduces herself as Su Han, a C-rank level 5 shadow type. She can vanish mid-air and attack from anywhere. She explains she'll supervise the exam from behind and won't participate in battle unless someone is on the verge of death, and if she intervenes, that participant automatically fails. A bloody-haired girl introduces herself next. She's D-rank stage 1, a healer, and her name is Yu Wei. Next, a girl with braided hair says she's a wind ability user, also D-rank. Finally, a red-haired guy in an armored suit steps forward with an arrogant expression. "My name is Li Rui. I'm D-rank level 3. I'm a tank, I fight head-on, and I'll be the leader of this team." He looks at Shu. "You didn't bring any weapon. Do you have some kind of special potential?" Shu replies, "No. I'm just an E-rank new student. I haven't awakened my potential yet." Li is stunned. "You're E-rank, and you're joining our test team? What kind of joke is this? You're just dead weight." The braided hair girl steps in. "So, look, now that the team is already formed, you can't complain." The healer backs her up. "That's right. If you break the team now, who knows when we'll get another test opportunity." Grinding his teeth, Li growls, "Fine. Just make sure he stays behind. I don't want any unnecessary obstacles." The healer looks at Shu and gently warns, "Stay right behind me. Rifts are extremely dangerous." Shu calmly says he already has combat experience fighting monsters. But the healer pulls his hand back and says that none of this makes sense, because inside a rift, you can only fight monsters either without a weapon or your awakening potential. Right then, they all walk up to a receptionist, and he says he needs a rift to take the exam. The receptionist hands him a glowing green fragment, which is actually a piece of the world tree. It works like a key to open a rift, and he tells them to head to room number 1. The scene shifts to room number 1, where they stand in front of the dungeon. He uses the key to open it, and Lee says the dungeon is now open, so they can all head inside. The 5 of them slowly move forward, while Shu is thinking that he can already feel the fluctuation of star energy from here. So this is the rift. He hopes he will find a lot of souls inside so he can upgrade himself within his system. The scene shifts to the other side of the dungeon where everyone has already entered. Suddenly, both girls hear something from the side, and one of them says to look ahead quickly. Their leader steps forward and orders everyone to get into standard formation, and the moment he says it, they all switch into fighting stances. From a distance, Shu is thinking how skilled they are to get ready the instant they hear the order. Then the C-rank stealth ability user says, "Good luck. Your exam has officially begun now, and I'll be watching everything from the side." With that, he activates his stealth skill and disappears. Right then, Lee shouts for everyone to look ahead. A whole pack of D-rank shadow demon wolves, possessed by dark energy, rushes toward the team at full speed. Lee faces them head-on, thinking that these are shadow wolves with an extremely sharp sense of smell. That's why they detected their arrival instantly and attacked in a pack. The short-haired girl starts shooting arrows from the side, injuring several wolves at once. The knight activates his battle skill, Frenzy Slash, and starts tearing through the wolves, shouting that these monsters are extremely weak. He challenges them, saying he'll show them who the real monster here is. But while he's fighting the wolves in front, a few manage to slip past him and reach the back. The short-haired girl panics and screams for Sister Lee to stop rushing forward and to look behind her. Before she can say anything else, a wolf scratches at the girl's arm with its teeth, though she barely manages to dodge the full attack. The healer runs toward her and says she'll help, but suddenly, a massive wolf appears behind her with its jaws wide open. Shu steps in and casually slashes the beast across the stomach with his claw attack, killing it instantly. The healer is completely shocked by what she just witnessed. Shu asks if she's okay, and the girl stammers out a yes. Shu immediately receives a notification in his system saying he earned 10 soul points, so he realizes he only gets soul points when he personally kills a beast, and that a single beast can give multiple points. He smiles, thinking that if such a small monster gave him 10 soul points, then higher-level beasts must give even more. It's time to go deeper into the rift. The archer girl finishes off the demon wolf in front of her with an arrow and calls for healing. The red-haired healer runs over, activates her healing spell, and a yellow magic orb appears, quickly healing the wounds on the girl's hand. But the healer is still shaken, thinking about how the freshman boy saved her life. He was so fast that she didn't even see him move. The leader is still fighting 3 wolves, while the stealth ability C-rank judge observes from a distance, thinking that overall, their combat power is impressive, but their teamwork is terrible, especially their leader, Li Rui. Even though he's a tank and the leader, he only cares about himself and earning more points. He doesn't care what happens to the others, whether they survive or not. He's overconfident because he's wearing a lot of high-level gear, but a rift is no joke. If they don't fix their teamwork soon, this test will be over very quickly. Li releases a surge of rage power and smirks, saying the test is way too easy. He calls his teammates useless dead weight and says that if he were left alone, he could clear the entire rift by himself. As he talks, a strange stone-like creature approaches from behind. Li spins and says, "You think you can sneak up on me and I won't notice?" He swings his sword at the creature's head. But it's not an ordinary wolf. It's a rock howl. The moment his sword hits, Newton's third law kicks in, and an equal and opposite force knocks the sword right out of his hand. He finally realizes the real danger. This is a D-rank rock howl, and it charges at him with a roar. Li tries to protect himself with his arms and armor, screaming loudly. His teammates panic. The archer girl says their defense is extremely strong and they need to help him. But Li's screaming has attracted all the wolves nearby, and they surround the group completely. The short-haired girl panics, and from a distance, the leader screams at the healer asking why she's just standing there. He demands she come heal him. The red-haired healer says he's too far away, but he threatens her, saying she has no choice. If something happens to him, the test will end here, and she will be responsible. Terrified, the girl starts walking toward him slowly. The archer girl screams for her not to go because it's too dangerous. Just then, a rock wolf charges at the healer. The judge panics, thinking about how the leader is using someone so much weaker as bait just to save himself, despite the dangerous beasts around him. She decides she'll have to intervene because she won't let anyone's life be risked in her test. But then her eyes widen. Right before the rock wolf can bite the healer's face, someone pulls her back. Shu steps in, activates his armored gloves, grabs the wolf's jaws, and crushes them like a biscuit. The beast dies instantly, and Shu earns 30 soul points. The hero gives a serious look and thinks, "This rock wolf is a little stronger than the previous demon wolves. That's why I'm getting more soul points from it. Its armor is definitely tougher. But compared to my demon armor, all of this is nothing but a joke." He throws the beast aside and keeps walking forward. "Hey, you two, stay behind me," he says. The 2 girls in the back are completely stunned. Shu picks up the fallen sword of the leader, Lewis, and charges forward at full speed. Every wolf standing in front of him is slaughtered instantly, and with each beast he kills, more soul points flow into him. From behind, the judge watches in complete shock. He can't believe a freshman is moving like this. "He's even more ruthless, and at the same time more heroic than Lewis," he mutters. The 2 girls are also frozen in disbelief. The archer girl whispers, "There's no way someone with this speed and strength is just an E rank." The healer panics and says, "Hurry! We need to keep up with him, or we'll get left behind." Both of them run, while more demon wolves roar from behind, rushing to hunt them. The girls push themselves to their limit, trying to escape. Suddenly, Shu gives them an intense look and says, "Both of you, hide." Before they can react, he charges backward and sends every single wolf straight to hell in one sweep. He gains a huge amount of soul points, and the entire area becomes clear. Turning around, he says, For now, this place is safe. Please go heal the leader, Lewis. He's badly injured. The short-haired girl is stunned. He killed all those rock wolves in just a moment. How? How is that possible? The healer nods and begins treating Louis. His injuries are severe. Lewis, however, is only worried about the scratch marks on his arm. These scars will heal, right? He asks nervously. The healer answers yes. Meanwhile, the short-haired girl looks at Shu, impressed. You're seriously incredible. Thanks to you, we're all safe. And none of us even got hurt. Shu asks, so, should we move forward or take a break here? The girl suggests moving forward. Shu checks his system. He has already collected 210 soul points. He thinks, this last wave gave me a ton of points. If things keep going like this, I'll gather a massive amount before the test ends. Just then, a voice shouts from behind, I said we're ending the test here. Why are you moving forward? The healer responds anxiously. We worked really hard just to book a slot for this test. If we push a bit more, we can definitely finish it. The short-haired girl snaps irritably. What's your problem? Lewis shouts, while I was fighting those beasts in front, that boy was fighting too, and you were all supposed to support us from behind, yet you didn't do anything. So tell me, how am I supposed to pass this exam with useless trash like you? You're nothing but dead weight to the team. Hearing this, the short-haired girl becomes furious. If you didn't charge forward like a psycho, we wouldn't even be in this situation. The healer tries to calm them down so the team doesn't fall apart. But Lewis refuses to back down. What are you trying to say? I'm the tank of this team. I got hurt this badly because of all you trash. Do you seriously think you can move forward without me? In his head, Lewis thinks, they're talking behind my back. I'll show them my real worth. If they want me to tank for them, they'll have to beg for it. You know? Suddenly, Shu steps forward and says, if that's how you feel, then you can stay here and wait for us. As for the rest of you, listen carefully. I'm willing to be tank. If you come with me, we can finish this exam as a real team. Lewis is enraged. You? A tank? Who do you think you are? Shu thinks, a chance to enter a rift is extremely rare. Now that I've got this opportunity, I'm not going to waste it. He says calmly, if the team needs a tank to move forward, then I'm ready to be that tank. I won't have any problems doing it. Lewis scoffs arrogantly. Just because you waved around a little sword and killed a few rock wolves, you think you're strong? Listen carefully. Without any gear, you're nothing but dust in front of this rift's boss. But the girls disagree. We trust Shu, they say. We're going with him. Lewis, come if you want. Stay if you don't. It won't bother us. Louis' own strategy backfires on him. Furious, he shouts, you're seriously gambling on a kid who has no gear or potential? The archer girl smirks. I've observed his skills very closely. He deserves a chance. The red-haired healer nods. I worked too hard to get here. I'm not letting this opportunity go to waste. The short-haired girl closes her eyes, steps forward and says, at the very least, he's more mature and reliable than someone who cries over tiny scratches. I'm not sure who the real child is here. She adds, if you don't want to come, then sit here and wait for us. We're leaving. She waves goodbye and walks away. Lewis is left standing there with his mouth open, speechless. Inside, he's boiling with rage. I'm the captain, and they dare ignore me? Just wait. You'll all regret this decision later. The scene shifts. A large number of rock wolves roar from the depths of the dungeon and charge forward. Arrows hit the soft spots outside their armored protection, fired by the short-haired archer girl. She smiles and says, all right, I blocked one. Your turn. Shu rushes in and, using his armored gloves, kills both beasts instantly. More soul points flow in. The green-haired girl gives support from the back, while the healer helps track monster positions and watches their surroundings. Suddenly, a demon wolf charges from behind toward the girls. Before it reaches them, a rock slams into it from the side, killing it instantly. Shu had thrown it. He asks, hey, are you both okay? They nod, and the archer finishes off the wolf to confirm its death. Check. The healer steps forward. Looks like that was the last demon wolf here. The rift is almost clear. The short-haired girl beams with excitement. Did you count how many demon monsters we've taken down so far? The red-haired healer thinks for a moment. At least 40 to 50. She smiles. And it's all thanks to our new team member. With a tank like him leading the way, the rest of us barely need to think. Shu smiles and turns around. Come on, it's not just me. It's our teamwork that made this mission go so smoothly. They keep moving deeper into the rift, getting more excited. Looks like we're almost at the end, one of them says. Suddenly, the archer girl asks Shu, "Hey, whenever you attack those monsters, your hands glow with a strange blue light for a moment and then vanish. I've never seen anything like it. Can you explain it?" The red-haired healer jumps in excitedly. "Yes, I noticed it too." Shu casually transforms his hand into armored gloves and says, "I don't really know much about it, but one day it suddenly appeared on my hand, and now I can summon it any time I want, and make it disappear whenever I need to." In his mind, Shu thinks, I can never tell them the truth. It would create too much confusion in their heads, and that might backfire on me in the future. Both girls stare at Shu's armored hand with excitement. The bloody-haired girl says eagerly, "It's possible you're an early awakener, someone who awakened their ability even before reaching D rank." The archer girl gets annoyed and says, "Before joining our team, you told us you hadn't activated your potential yet. So tell us, did you lie to us? What is all this?" The bloody-haired girl quickly calms her down. "Look, he's a new guy. Maybe he doesn't fully understand the rules yet. Besides, awakening before D rank is considered extremely rare." She looks at Shu and says, "If you have any extra power or ability, you really should tell the team before joining. Otherwise, people will underestimate you. And anyway, tanks are always in the highest demand." Shu thanks her for the information. With his hands folded behind him, he thinks, "Seriously, having a team is way more important than I thought when entering these rifts. I fought so many beasts here, but because they got the last hit, they stole all my points. Who knows how many points I could have had by now. Next time, I'll try exploring a rift alone. At least I won't have to compete with teammates over kill numbers." We see that Shu currently has 810 soul points. He thinks, I need at least 2,000 points to level up. As they continue moving, the C-rank judge behind them watches in disbelief. "I can't believe this. An E-rank freshman is leading a team like this. He's honestly strong, and all his decisions have been excellent. Compared to Lewis, he's 1,000 times better. Lynn really trusted this boy a lot, and she brought him into the team at the last moment. At this rate, they'll probably finish the test very soon." Then the judge becomes suspicious. But the strange part is, their arrogant leader Lewis is following them quietly from behind. Is he planning something? The scene shifts back to Shu's team. The braided hair girl says in shock, "Is that it? Are we seriously at the end already?" They have reached almost the end of the rift and they still haven't seen a boss. The bloody-haired girl says, "Maybe this is a special rift without a boss. Or maybe when we were fighting all those beasts earlier, we accidentally killed the boss without realizing it." But the archer girl shakes her head nervously. "That's completely impossible. A dungeon's boss is considered the core. If the rift isn't destroyed yet, that means the boss is still alive somewhere." As they talk, we see something watching them from above in the shadows. Suddenly, Zhu's perception ability activates. His senses sharpen instantly and he feels danger behind them. He shouts, "Everyone move, it's right above us." A vicious beast wrapped in black shadow dives down with a roar and smashes into the ground, creating a shockwave that forces everyone to jump back. The archer girl panics. "This isn't just one beast, I can feel multiple auras." In the smoke, a pair of glowing eyes appears. As the dust clears, more yellow eyes appear behind it, several beasts hidden in the dark. The girls panic completely. They stare in horror. Is this some kind of joke? What is happening? From the smoke emerges a D-rank joint shadow demon, followed by 2 elite-level D-rank joint shadow demon wolves. And behind them, a massive D-rank joint rock king reveals itself. Compared to these monsters, Shu's team looks as small as ants. Suddenly, the stealth-type judge appears in front of them and shouts, "The test ends here. All of you, get out of this place right now." She says, "These demon wolves aren't normal wolves. They're elite monsters. And that rock beast is a boss-level monster. The difficulty has risen far beyond a normal exam. We had no idea this was happening. There's absolutely no way you can handle this with your current skills. Leave now while you still can. If they attack together, even I won't be able to protect all of you." But Shu looks at the demon wolves like they're a treasure chest full of soul points. He thinks, if I kill all 4 of them by myself, I can get a massive amount of points. But that Rock King is extremely powerful. Just then, a system notification appears. A mission is issued. Shu is shocked. The system instructs him to kill the Rock King and earn soul points. He thinks, this is the first time the system is asking me to accept a mission, and this is Behemoth's second desire. Below that, it says if he leaves the dungeon without completing the mission, he will receive severe punishment. Shu remembers, last time I tried to break the contract, I faced hellfire. And punishment here probably means dying in that hellfire again. So it looks like I don't have a choice. I'm being forced to fight these beasts. His eyes glow blue and a grin spreads across his face. He thinks, looks like the real adventure is finally starting. He says, Senior, stay behind me. I'll handle them. The judge is stunned. Don't tell me. This E-rank newbie is planning to fight all of them. Shu has already made up his mind. These beasts will all become my prey. His armored gloves reappear, releasing blue lightning and a crackling thunder sound. A notification pops up. Combat skill, demon armor attached. Then his profile window appears, showing that Behemoth still has 993 remaining desires. Shu slowly stepped toward those beasts. The monsters looked at him as if he were nothing more than a tiny mouse, far too small to matter. On the other side, the judge rushed forward in a panic and shouted, Hey, have you lost your mind? You want to fight all 4 of those monsters alone? Look, that one is a boss monster. This isn't a joke. You're putting your life at risk. The girl with the tied-up hair quickly said, Senior Suhan, please stop and calm down. I don't think this guy would act recklessly. He must have some kind of trump card that'll help him handle this fight. Hearing that, the judge, still worried, activated her stealth ability and disappeared. Her voice echoed, Fine. If a student truly wants to fight and prove themselves, then as an examiner, I have to respect that decision. Even if it costs him his life, I still have to let him try. I just hope you don't regret your choice later. With that, she vanished. Both girls, running back for cover, called out, Don't push yourself too hard. If it feels like those beasts are overwhelming you, then run straight toward us. Shu looked at the monster's aura and immediately understood. Maybe their level was lower like the previous monsters, but their power was on a whole different scale. Still, he thought, I have the demon armor. With its protection, I should at least be able to withstand their blows. The boss monster stood there with a devilish expression, almost as if it were laughing at Shu. Shu smirked back and thought, even after seeing these dangerous beasts, I don't feel scared at all. Then with his own devil-like grin, he whispered, Because behind me stands someone far more terrifying than all of you, a demon on my side. He was talking about Behemoth. The Beast King roared fiercely. His 3 elite-tier wolves charged forward, and the boss monster rushed straight toward Shu to attack. Shu immediately activated his perception ability, sharpening his senses to the limit. He dodged the king monster's razor-sharp strike, but the 3 demon wolves surrounded him instantly. The 2 girls gasped, shocked. Is he seriously holding off 4 Lord-level monsters at once? Are all tank potentials this strong? The other girl shook her head. No, not at all. Think about our Captain Louis. He couldn't do this. Even the judge was stunned. People say someone with awakened potential can barely handle 1 Lord monster. This kid, he's fighting 4. I can't understand what level of potential he's awakening right now. Meanwhile, Shu closed his eyes for a moment and thought, These are Lord monsters. I can't take them lightly. He narrowly dodged a demon wolf's claw strike and noted, This wolf's speed is almost the same as mine. I can handle one, but there are 4. If I keep dodging, my stamina will run out and I'll become their prey. He leaped into the air, but another wolf lunged to bite him. Shu twisted midair, dodged again, and shot straight toward the king monster. I'll knock out the king first, then I'll deal with the rest. He landed a powerful full-force punch on the king's head. But suddenly, a golden aura erupted around the monster, making Zhu's eyes narrow. Even with his ultimate punch, he couldn't break through the king's shield. The shield instantly began healing with that same golden aura. The beast roared again. Golden light burst out from its entire body. It had activated its Lord skill. The force pushed Shu back as cracks on the shield healed at incredible speed. Shu retreated, thinking, its healing speed is insane. I have to find a weakness somehow. Elsewhere, Captain Louis was watching the fight from behind. His jaw dropped. Is that kid an E-rank beginner? Fighting 4 D-rank Lord monsters? How is that even possible? A grin slowly spread across his face. Relax. If he can handle them, then that means the monsters aren't even that strong. If I were there instead of that weak E-rank newbie, I could finish them easily. He gripped his sword tightly. This is my moment. As the captain of this team, taking down Lord Monsters is my responsibility. That newbie won't steal my achievement. He let out a loud shout and charged toward the monsters from behind Shu. Then an evil idea flashed through his mind. If, by accident, I take down the monsters and kill that kid at the same time, no one would suspect me, and I'd get all the credit for killing the boss monster. He smirked darkly. Yeah, let's do that. Lewis shouted loudly. Shu, get ready to die. But Shu casually struck his hand with a punch, knocking the sword right out of Lewis's grip. Shu calmly said, perfect timing, and then jumped away from him. At that exact moment, the demon monster's claw swung forward, straight toward Louis. Louis screamed, defense enhancement, maximum power! But the monster's attack shattered his shield and sent him flying through the air. He crashed hard against the back wall, screaming in pain. Even inside the shield, the monster's claws had cut through him. His sword spun in the air and fell to the ground. Shu sprinted forward and grabbed the sword before it hit the floor. The next moment, he was already climbing up the dungeon ceiling with the monster positioned directly beneath him. Zhu's expression turned serious. All right, I'm fully ready. It's time. He said, System, put all my soul points into agility, into speed. He had 800 points, and after adding them all to agility, his 0-point agility shot straight up to 5, unlocking a new combat skill, Godspeed. Shu launched himself down from the ceiling. The next moment he landed on the ground in a blur, and blood dripped from above. He had sliced a demon wolf's head clean off its body. He received 750 soul coins for the kill. Shu smiled. Finally, one down. A notification appeared. He had earned the title Godspeed, granting him an additional 10 agility points on top of his current level. His new agility stat became 15. The remaining 2 demon wolves trembled with fear. Shu rushed in with the sword, killed the second wolf instantly, and said, All right, that makes 2. He earned another 750 soul points. The judge stood frozen in shock. His speed, it just keeps increasing. What is happening here? Only the last demon wolf remained, trembling and confused. Meanwhile, the 2 girls reached Captain Lewis and dragged him out of the fighting zone. That moment, the last demon wolf noticed them and lunged straight toward them. The short-haired girl stepped forward. Do you really think we're that weak? That you can bully us? She unleashed a powerful wind-converging burst, blasting green light as the monster was pushed back. In that moment, Shu rushed in and finished the last demon wolf instantly, earning another 750 soul points. With the combined kills, Shu now had a total of 2,600 soul points. Then behind him, the Beast King roared and charged. Shu whispered, Finally, 2260 soul points. Then he said, System, level me up. Instantly a notification appeared. His E rank, level 6, had now advanced to D rank, level 1. He still had 260 soul points remaining. A pillar of purple energy burst out from him, overflowing through the entire dungeon. The Beast King stopped in its tracks, sensing the overwhelming energy. The judge and the 2 girls stared in shock. A dark aura filled the air. A notification appeared. Shu had reached D rank, and his potential had also been unlocked. Dark blue energy poured from his body. Another notification appeared. His potential was named Abyss. With it, he could create his own domain. Shu stomped the ground, summoning the domain, and the massive Beast King was dragged inside. Shu turned around and said, Skill activated. From the dark abyss below, long shadowy blades erupted, stabbing upward and impaling the monster. It was the evil god's 4 dark tentacles, capable of piercing anything. Fear filled the Beast King's eyes. Shu stepped forward and sliced off its head, ending the boss monster instantly. He stood still for a moment, letting his abyss ability fade away. A notification appeared. He had earned 5,000 soul points for killing the boss. Shu thought, as I expected, killing a lord monster gives a lot of points, but 5,000? That's impressive. And honestly, it was pretty easy, only because of my abyss talent. Otherwise, this fight would have dragged on for a long time. Another notification appeared. Behemoth's wish had been completed, and because he killed the King Wolf, Shu also received a Rock Wolf King crystal. A glowing yellow crystal appeared in his hand. It was a rare material, containing the pure condensed power of the Wolf King. Shu quickly slipped the stone into his pocket. Suddenly, the 2 girls ran toward him, shouting excitedly. I can't believe my own eyes. You actually defeated all 3 Lord monsters by yourself. The girl with the tied hair said, Now that this Lord monster is dead, does that mean our exam is finally over? Or is there another stage coming? Right then, the B-rank judge stepped forward from the shadows. As you've already sensed, the star energy fluctuations here have stabilized. That means the final Lord monster of this dungeon has been defeated. And yes, you all have officially passed this test. The 2 girls froze for a moment. then screamed with joy and hugged each other tightly. Both of them greeted Shu and said, "Hey, new guy, thank you so much. We were only able to pass this exam because of you." Shu replied, "My name is Joe. Please call me by my name instead of new guy." The judge and the healer girl laughed. Then the judge announced, "Louis and Xiao Lin have earned 5 credit points in this exam." Xiao Lin, the healer girl, smiled and said, "We didn't do anything. All the credit goes to the new guy." The judge smiled and said, "You stepped up where it mattered, and when you felt you needed to fall back, you did that wisely too. You handled everything calmly." She looked at Shu and added, "And you earned a total of 15 points. Your personal skills and leadership capabilities are absolutely amazing. On top of that, you defeated the Lord Monster all by yourself, which earned you a full 10 out of 10 points. And since Louis was supposed to be your leader, his 5 points are added to your score as well." Hearing this, both girls were shocked. The healer said, 15 points? I've never heard of anyone scoring that high. This was a 10-point exam, but he's getting 15? Shu thanked the judge, and she kept praising him. Suddenly, Louis came running from behind, yelling, "How could you do that? How could you give him my credit?" The judge spoke in a calm but serious tone. "Because you ignored your teammates. You never treated them as part of your team. And if you don't consider yourself part of the team, why should you get any points? And besides, you were the team captain. During the fight, you broke formation just to save your own points, putting your teammates in danger. On top of that, you even dared to attack one of your own teammates." She continued, "According to Academy regulations, you are disqualified from this exam. You have failed." Louis screamed, "But I just wanted to finish the fight quickly. You can't do this to me. I'll appeal your judgment." The judge walked away calmly and said, "Do whatever you want. When the higher-ups investigate your actions, you'll receive punishment far worse than this." Hearing that, Louis panicked completely and couldn't say another word. The judge said, "We need to leave this rift quickly. It's about to close." The scene shifted. After some time, they all returned to the academy. The judge said, "I've already submitted your test results. You'll receive them within 24 hours. Everyone thanked the judge. Meanwhile, Louis walked away slowly, disappointed and discouraged. The two girls excitedly told Shu, "If we ever get the chance in future missions, we'll definitely try to team up with you again." They exchanged numbers with him. Then the judge smiled and said, "So, Shu Chen, it looks like you haven't joined any guild yet. Would you like to join our Shadowfell guild?" "So, sure," Shu replied, "but don't I need to be at least C rank to join a guild?" The judge said, "That's only for the big guilds. Our guild is mid-rank, so the restrictions aren't that strict. With your ability, we can offer you an annual salary of around 3 million. Shu thought, 3 million? That's a pretty good amount, but someone else already offered me even more. I can't accept right now. So he politely refused and said he wasn't interested in joining any guild at the moment. The judge looked a little disappointed. "Oh, okay, no problem. If you ever change your mind in the future, remember, our doors will always be open for you." Just then, someone walked over and asked, "So, is the exam over?" It was Lin, along with her purple-haired assistant. She smiled and asked, "So, what were you all talking about?" The judge quickly changed the topic and said, "Nothing much, just congratulating him for finishing the exam." The two girls shouted Zhu's name cheerfully and said, "We'll meet again." Shu asked Lin, "So, were you waiting here for me?" Lin replied, "Yes, we came for you. Looks like you finished the exam way earlier than I predicted. It's okay though, your luggage has already been delivered to your place. Come on, I'll show you your room." After a while, they arrived at an extremely luxurious apartment, the dorm room assigned to Shu. Shu was stunned by how fancy it was. Shu stayed silent for a moment and finally asked, "Since I've already passed the exam, can I ask why you want to recruit me into your guild?" Lin's assistant panicked a little. "Lin, is it okay to tell him all this?" Lin said softly, "Don't worry. If I've chosen to recruit Shu, that means I trust him. And now that he's passed the exam, nobody will question his capabilities." Shu was confused. "Who exactly are you talking about?" Lin said, "I'm the official heir of our guild, since my father is the guild leader. But internally, there are 3 factions fighting for the position of the next guild leader." She spoke seriously. "To secure my position, I need to form a loyal team. That's where I need your help." Shu was shocked. "So you don't trust your old team? If that's the case, why trust me so much?" "Dude, because you're the protagonist of the story." Back in the story, Lin said, "I watched your fight in the Blackwater Zone. It was impressive, truly worthy of praise. The determination in your eyes, your hunger for power, that's what made me choose you. And there's another reason. I checked your background. You're carrying a huge loan from the 4th level Light City. But behind that loan agency is a massive corporation based in the central area, the core of the entire system. She continued, they use their influence to steal information, alter data, and trap talented people like you. Once you become strong enough, you'll catch their attention. And when they find out you took a loan from their agency, they'll make sure you remain their slave for life. Even if you pay them back, they'll bury you under some contract or hidden terms and force you to serve them forever. Then she said with a serious voice, join me. I promise I'll protect your data. And that loan company is one of my enemies. When I defeat them, I'll erase all your information from their records so their greed never reaches you. Our interests align perfectly, so tell me, will you join us? He suddenly goes completely quiet. He thinks getting backing from such a powerful guild is honestly the safest option. And on top of that, what they're offering me, I'm never going to find this in any other guild. Turning this offer down would basically be like banging my head against a wall for no reason. So he smiles and says, all right, I'll definitely help you. Lin laughs softly and says, there's no rush. Take your time and handle things at your own pace. Cece, send it to him. The purple-haired girl nods, taps on her tablet, and right then, a notification pops up on the hero's phone. He looks at it and sees 5 million deposit in his bank. The hero is shocked. Did they really just transfer that much money so casually? Lin says, look, in a C-rank guild, 5 million is a full year's salary. But for our guild, this is just an advance payment. For now, you can rest. Once your results come in, we'll complete all the paperwork. And if you need anything here, don't hesitate to talk to us. Shu thanks them, and they finally leave. Shu lies down on his bed and says, finally, I'll get a little rest. Then he opens his system panel and checks everything. He sees 4 options: status, level attribute upgrade, rank up, and shop. He currently has 5,260 soul points. Shu opens the attribute upgrade section and sees that going from D-level stage 1 to stage 2 requires 5,000 soul points. And for physics, strength, agility, spirit, perception, and potential, each has a different point requirement. His eyes stop at potential. He's shocked to see that upgrading potential costs double the points compared to normal attributes, and leveling up would use up the entire 5,000 he has. He thinks, right now, leveling up doesn't seem like the smart choice. Last time, when I increased my agility and speed, I got that new skill, Godspeed. So if I upgrade my potential, what will I get? So he upgrades his potential from 0 straight to 5, spending 1,600 points. A notification pops up saying his potential has moved from level 1 to level 2. That means 0 to 5 were small sub-levels, and upgrading past 5 puts him into level 2. Now he unlocks a new power. He can summon 6 tentacles from the abyss instead of 4, and he can now store items inside the abyss. For now, his space level is 1 and has a capacity of 160. Shu tightens his fist and says, just like I thought. Leveling up potential unlocked a new skill in the abyss. He tries using it on a bottle nearby. Using his abyss skill, he pulls the bottle out from the abyss directly into his hand. He stores the old crystal and the Cathra magic armor fragment inside as well, then pulls the water bottle back out again. He laughs and says, nice. With this, I can easily store and move things around whenever I want. Then he notices the rank up option, but he can't use it yet because he doesn't have enough points. His attention then lands on the last option, Exchange Shop. He opens it and finds healing potions, stamina potions, and a huge variety of weapons, each with different prices. He thinks, during today's fight in the rift, I really needed a weapon, and normally, buying a weapon from this school costs a ridiculous amount of money. Everything here is insanely overpriced. Let me see what I can get from this shop instead. He spends 1,500 points to buy a sword, and immediately a really high-quality sword appears from the system. Zhu gets excited. This sword is perfect for my body. The size, the balance, it fits me perfectly. Now he has only 2,160 points left, so he decides to save the rest for later. Right then, Behemoth appears and asks in shock, hey, what are you talking about? What is all this? Shu looks to the side, equally surprised. He laughs and slips the sword into the abyss. Look, I activated a new potential skill called Abyss. I can store things in it, and during battle I can use it in some pretty dangerous ways. Behemoth is stunned. Wait, you already learned how to use those Abyss tentacles that easily? And you even broke through to D rank? Shu laughed. Yep. Honestly, all of this happened inside the rift, and I didn't have any trouble with it. Behemoth thinks, I invested so much of my power into him that I could barely come out for a while, but his growth is insane. Then he gives a sinister smile and says, well then, Now that you can enter the rift anytime, it's finally time for you to fulfill all my desires. Scene shifts to the evolution department. Shu is sitting on a chair while a bunch of people move around the room. He's talking to Behemoth. He tells him that he came here to get his potential reading card because once he gets that card, taking missions becomes much easier, and then he can move in and out of the rift freely. Right then, a receptionist on the side says, "Shu Chen, it's your turn now." Shu looks at him and immediately walks over. The receptionist says, "I've already reviewed your file. You're a new student, and new students awakening directly at D rank is extremely rare. Come inside. I'll explain how everything works." As they walk, the girl tells him, "Inside there's a stone. You'll place your hand on it, and whatever color appears will determine your ability rank. The ranks go from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, all the way up to legendary. The rarer and higher the tier, the stronger your potential." Just then, a boy and girl walk in from the other side. The boy smiles and says, "I awakened at silver rank." The girl looks disappointed and says, "I only got bronze. What am I even supposed to do now?" The receptionist says, "There's no need to be discouraged here. If your level turns out low, you'll be given another chance to awaken. You'll just have to polish your skills a bit more." After a few minutes, they arrive in front of the awakening stone. The receptionist says, "Place your hand gently on it. Your trial will be over soon." Shu places his hand, and an intense burst of energy erupts from the stone. Golden, purple, green, and several other colors swirling together. The girl watching gasps. Why is the stone's color fluctuating so much? This isn't normal. It usually stabilizes quickly. She checks the system panel, but even the scanner shows no stable reading. A moment later, the stone glows with a deep purple energy, and dark energy starts overflowing from it. A black shadow is projected above the stone. People nearby stare in shock. "Look at that! There's an incredibly intense star energy fluctuation. What kind of potential did this kid awaken? I can barely breathe from the pressure." Shu's aura grows so massive that it fills the entire room. The receptionist freezes in disbelief. "I've never seen a color like this in my life. What kind of power does he possess?" Suddenly, text appears on the awakening stone. Apostile rank, purple. Shu looks at his system but can't find any definition for apostile or purple rank. The girl is just as shocked and says, "I've never heard of an apostile profession, and there's no information about a purple rank either. What is going on?" Shu asks, "What is this apostile profession supposed to be?" The girl explains, "Normally when a new awakener awakens, the reading is incomplete. That's why their initial name is usually something like Flame, Storm, or Water. When their power matures, it changes to Flame Warrior, Storm Mage, and so on. Only then are they considered a complete awakener. But you just awakened for the first time and it's already showing your full profession. How is that even possible?" Just then, a manager walks in. "What's with all the noise?" The receptionist explains everything about Shu. His profession, the readings, the color. The manager's eyes narrow in shock. "Give me the tablet." He checks the frequency readings and says, "This system isn't made from anything in our world. It's crafted from materials found inside the rift. That means the results can't be wrong, which means this purple rank and this profession, they're completely new. This is the first time we've ever detected something like this." He immediately informs someone through his earpiece, asking them to gather all information related to this discovery. The receptionist picks up a card and says, "Shu's card is ready. The purple color is already printed on it." The manager hands it to Shu and says, "We have no idea what your information means right now, but in the future, after seeing your achievements, we'll determine whether this rank is powerful or weak. For now, we're classifying it as a unique rank." Shu looks at the black and purple card that contains all his details. He's shocked too. What exactly is purple rank? Did this happen because of his creation authority? People nearby whisper among themselves. What is apostile? Is it stronger than bronze or weaker? No one knows. Shu thinks, whatever. All I understand is that apostile sounds like servant. Basically, I'm Behemoth's servant. That must be what this profession means. He sighs. Anyway, I should go take a mission. He arrives at the mission hall. As soon as he enters, a guy walks up and says, "Looking for missions? We're about to take one and need one more person. It's a safe mission, just stone mining. Want to join?" The hero asks for details, and the guy shows everything on his phone. Shu sees that even this small mission pays money and awards 2 credits. He immediately gets excited and accepts. The guy guides Shu to register his name and explains how future missions will work. Then he takes Shu to meet the other 2 team members. Shu asks, "Is a judge not going with us?" The man in the green coat laughs. Judges only supervise freshman exams. For normal missions, you'd have to pay a huge fee to bring one along. Don't worry, this mission isn't dangerous anyway. The scene shifts to the crystal mining rift. Everyone is amazed by the beautiful glowing stones. Shu smiles and says, "This place is gorgeous." Behemoth, watching through their link, thinks, "I can't ignore this feeling." He immediately issues a mission to Shu. Shu sees that he has only 1 hour to collect 150 crystal ores, and failure isn't allowed. Behemoth says, "These crystals contain a ton of star energy. If I absorb them, I can recover my power quickly. Kid, you're going to have to work hard for the next hour. Now get moving." Before Shu even responds, the guy in the green coat walks over with a spare pickaxe and says, "Let's get started. I brought an extra pickaxe. You can use this." A little while later, Shu and the guy are mining while the other two transport the stone. The man says excitedly, "I didn't think you'd be this strong. You must have a strength-type potential." Shu awkwardly nods while looking around. The guy adds, "Offensive-type ability users have an easy time finding teams, but I awakened with just a basic enhancer-type potential, which is useless in real combat. That's why I work in crystal mining." Just then, Behemoth says, "Hey kid, stop talking. I'm trying to absorb the stones, but it's not working." "Why not?" Shu gets worried. He picks up a stone and tries storing it in his abyss, but it doesn't work. He realizes the ore doesn't belong to him. Shu thinks, "So whose stone is this? I literally just mined it from this cave." Right then, the guy in the green coat gets nervous and says, "Why are you staring at that stone like that? Are you planning to steal these? Don't even think about doing something that stupid. Our school owns this entire mine. If you get caught, you'll face serious punishment." Shu panics a little and says to Behemoth, "If the school owns the mine, then I can't collect a single stone, so how am I supposed to finish this mission in 1 hour?" Behemoth replies, "That's your problem. I gave you the mission, and you have to complete it. If you fail, you'll lose your life. You remember that, right?" Before they can say anything more, the ground suddenly starts shaking like an earthquake. The guy shouts, "We need to get out of here, now! I think the mine is about to collapse." Another teammate screams, "Look over there! It's the crystal-eating king worm!" A massive segmented worm, with its giant mouth wide open, charges straight toward them. Everyone starts running in fear. All the guards told us this mission was 100% safe. Then how did a king-class monster get here? It must have woken up because of the vibrations from our mining. Forget everything else. Just run. Shu looks back while running and thinks, is this monster's nest deeper inside the crystal layers? He keeps running with them, but the monster crawls rapidly, getting extremely close to him. Shu glances sideways, grabs the guy in the green coat, and shoves him forward to save him. The guy stumbles and falls ahead, but the monster lunges straight at Shu. Everyone screams, "No, Shu!" And with that shout, the story updates once again. So what do you think? Will Shu be able to fight this monster? And can he fulfill Behemoth's demand within 1 hour? The next part is going to be incredibly exciting. If even one small thing changes, we might witness an amazing scene. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and hit the hype button so the video can reach more people. The worm monster slowly crawled downward through a strange tunnel, and inside its mouth, Shu was trapped. Suddenly, Behemoth spoke from behind, saying, "Hey, you got caught by such a weak monster? Weren't you being a little too careless? You could have easily dodged its attack with your god speed." Shu replied, "This was all part of my plan. Just watch. This monster will take me straight to its home. Those senior hunters said earlier that monster nests are usually built right above crystal ore mines. So if we reach its home, we might find a ton of crystals that the Academy hasn't claimed yet, and that means I can complete my mission easily." As he said that, the monster burst out through the ceiling and dropped down through the air. Shu kicked the monster's cheek, redirected his speed, and landed on the ground. The entire place was filled with crystals. Behemoth's eyes widened in shock. "Look at that! This whole place is overflowing with crystals. Kid, you guessed it right. But before collecting any crystals, it looks like you'll have to clean up a few bugs." In front of Shu, countless worms were crawling across the entire area. Shu laughed and said, "I thought I wouldn't get any soul points from this mission, but it looks like I'll earn plenty of soul points along with these crystals." He summoned tentacles from the abyss, and multiple dark tentacles emerged, stabbing through the worms like chopsticks piercing potatoes. With each worm he skewered, Shu gained 120 soul points. The slaughter went on for a while, and Shu collected a massive number of points. Behemoth explained that Shu could summon only 6 tentacles at a time, but the way he was repeatedly summoning them made the ability even more dangerous. Shu said, "These tentacles turned out way more useful than I expected, but the only problem is, I can't use them for too long. It's not like there's a cooldown. It just drains a huge amount of mental energy. If I overuse my mental energy, I could lose consciousness, and maybe even die." Holding his head, Zhu muttered, "Looks like I've hit my limit. I can't keep going, but at least I wiped out all the small and large worms. Except the boss monster." Right behind him, a massive worm lunged forward to swallow him. Zhu deactivated his Abyss skill and summoned his sword from the system. A notification appeared. Godspeed activated. In an instant, Zhu sliced the giant worm into pieces and appeared behind it. The boss was defeated, and Shu received 7,000 soul points at once. Behemoth said, "Gotta admit, your performance was impressive, but even then, I'll give you a 6 out of 10. Shu frowned. "What? Aren't you being a bit too strict?" Behemoth replied, "You still need to get much stronger. This is just the beginning. Now hurry up and get to work before this dungeon closes." Shu summoned his Abyss tentacles again and began digging. The tentacles spread out and dug through the ground while Shu sat on the corpse of a worm like it was a sofa. He said, "Looks like tentacle number 2 isn't very strong, and number 4 and 5 are the most obedient. But number 6 is definitely the smartest." He bought a healing potion from the system to restore his mental energy. It was revealed that he had earned a total of 13,000 soul points from the fight, and with the 2,000 he already had, he now held 15,000 soul points. He opened his attributes and level up panel, thinking back to how upgrading his agility and potential last time had boosted his combat ability. "I've got plenty of points, so let's upgrade everything by 1 level. He broke through from D-level stage 1 to stage 2, upgraded all his stats by 1 point, and was left with about 5,400 soul points. His strength reached level 5, granting him a new power. His attacks would now be harder to block, and his resistance increased. His mental power also reached level 5, unlocking a skill called Calm Breath. With it, he could stand still and rapidly recover mental energy without doing anything. He activated Calm Breath and smiled. "Wow, this skill feels so relaxing. Now I can stand still, control my tentacles effortlessly, and recover mental energy at the same time. Together, these abilities make for an ultimate combo." He upgraded a new attribute called Senses from 0 to level 1, costing 800 soul points, leaving him with about 4,600. He wondered, "Every other stat helps me fight, but how is Senses supposed to help?" He upgraded it to level 5, and unlocked a new skill, Eye of the Authority Holder. With it, he could see information about any object or target in front of him. The skill stayed active at all times. One of his eyes glowed gold. At first, Shu was confused, but when he looked at the dead worms around him, floating notifications appeared above each one. They were crystal-eating worms, and he could see their details. But when he looked at the boss worm, something inside its body was glowing. Yet his skill couldn't reveal what it was. Shu quickly ordered his number 6 tentacle to reach forward and pull out the glowing object from inside the monster. Within moments, the tentacle placed a strange purple root-like item into his hand. Behemoth looked shocked and said, "This looks like a very rare treasure, but it seems I can't absorb it." Shu was also surprised as he stared at the root. Suddenly, information about it appeared before his eyes. It was called a mutated crystal. It was made from a special type of material that could be used to upgrade Kethra's demon armor. When Behemoth learned this, he was stunned. Excited, he said, "Finding even a fragment of demon armor is extremely rare, but the crafting formula for this thing was lost a long time ago. How are you even planning to attach it to the armor? But forget that for now. The dungeon could close any moment. Don't take unnecessary risks. Let's get out of here first and think about it later." The scene shifted outside. Shu's 3 teammates were standing in the same place, panicking. One of them was gripping a man by the collar, shaking him in desperation. More people had gathered around by now. Then someone shouted, "Look, the dungeon gate is closing. Did someone kill the Lord Monster inside?" Another person said, "Not necessary. This is a treasure-gathering type mission, and it has a time limit. When the time runs out, the dungeon closes on its own." A third person added, "Then Shu must still be inside. He'll never be able to come back." Zhu's teammate in the orange jacket grabbed an officer and shouted, "It's been half an hour since we filed the report. Your rescue team still hasn't arrived. What are you people even doing?" The officer replied nervously, "Those crystal-eating worms live deep underground. They build massive tunnels beneath the surface. Even if a rescue team came, they wouldn't be able to save your friend. And according to your report, he was already eaten by the king worm. Do you seriously think anyone can escape after being swallowed by that thing?" The red-haired guy was on the verge of tears. He regretfully said, "This is all my fault. I was the one who brought him into the mission, and he sacrificed himself to save me. I'm the one to blame." Suddenly, someone in the crowd shouted, stunned, "Look, someone is walking out of the dungeon gate." The crowd burst into noise. People were whispering, "Did he defeat the king worm? How is he still alive?" It was Shu walking out of the dungeon. He froze when he saw the huge crowd waiting outside. He had no idea why so many people were gathered. The green-haired guy rushed over, grabbed Shu, and said, "Shu, you're alive. You're okay. Oh, thank God, you actually made it back." Shu quickly made up a story. "I got stuck between its teeth. I kept trying different paths and somehow managed to find my way out. But I'm sorry. I wasn't able to bring out any crystals or materials." The guy in the green coat patted his shoulder and said, "Forget all that. Your life is way more important than anything else. You're alive. That's all that matters." At the same time, the system showed that Joe collected 173 crystal stones instead of the required 150, completing the mission in just 1 hour. The scene then shifted to Tianlian Hospital, where Shu's mom was admitted. His older sister saw something shocking. The hospital bed was empty. She rushed outside and asked a nurse, "Where's my mother? Her room is empty. What happened?" The nurse replied, "She has been moved to the intensive care ward." The girl said anxiously, "But that's for VIP patient." The nurse explained, "The principal of Lithid Academy, Mr. Hu, admitted your mother to the intensive care unit for 6 months. He already paid the fees in advance. He also said the patient's child can't come right now, so he handled everything on their behalf. I assumed you were the patient's only child." The girl looked confused. She thought, "Child? Does that mean Shu?" The scene returned to Shu. He had already attached the demon armor fragment to Kethra's armor using 3,000 soul points. His skill increased dramatically. Whenever he wore this attachment, his strength would rise even further. He could also fire energy beams outward, and the armor would act as a defensive barrier against enemy attack. Shu said, "Looks like today is my lucky day." Behemoth, floating close by, added, "I never expected your system to actually craft and upgrade demon armor. This is impressive." The system notified him that he now had 2 crystal core stones stored in his abyss storage. Shu thought, "Maybe I'll learn how to use senses in the future. For now, it's useless to me. I'll just store it." He called Principal Hu on his phone. The principal told him that his mother had already been transferred to the intensive care unit. He invited Shu to visit after the school renovation was completed. Shu agreed. It was shown that Shu was still using his old phone, which had a cracked screen, even though he had earned a lot of money. He mentioned that he spent $5 million on his mother's 6 months hospital fees and $20 million to pay off his loan. The $2 million he earned came from completing missions. Shu thought, "If I start clearing higher-level missions one by one, paying off my loan will be easy. But right now, I need to find a way to survive any dungeon, no matter how dangerous it is. It's not that I don't trust Senior Lin, but having power means I can protect myself and the people around me. Let's see if there's any solo clear rift available in the school missions." After scrolling for a while, he realized that all available missions required a group. Just like companies prefer hiring experienced employees, the same way these missions demanded hunters who already had experience clearing dungeons. After scrolling for a while, Shu finally realizes that there isn't a single mission suitable for him. Now he has only one option left, to issue his own mission. He immediately posts a recruitment mission stating that he needs support-type ability users. It doesn't matter what level they are, what type they are, or how much experience they have. Everyone will be accepted. The captain guarantees that this dungeon will be cleared. The only requirement is that teammates must follow every instruction from the leader and not interfere with his decisions. And whatever rewards they earn from this mission will be split 50-50. That means Shu will take 50%, and the remaining 50% will be divided among the rest of the members. Shu publishes the mission, and Behemoth, sounding worried, says, "With such crazy conditions, do you really think anyone will accept your mission?" Shu replies, "Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but whatever happens, happens." With that, he puts his phone down. The scene shifts straight to the next morning. Shu wakes up to the sound of his doorbell. Annoyed, he opens the door and asks, "So tell me, who's here this early in the morning?" It turns out to be the same bloody-haired healer. Smiling, she says, "So boss, you're finally awake. Look, we're all here to join your mission." And she's not alone. She brought her entire gang with her. Shu is completely confused and says, "What's going on here? I posted a team mission, not a gang mission." And with that, the episode ends. See you in the next video. Shu, completely stressed out, says, "Why are so many people standing in front of my house?" The blonde girl replies, "Didn't you post a mission last night for a support team? But the contact information you provided, everyone had tried reaching you, and no one could get through. When I said I knew you, everyone begged me to bring them to you." Shu thinks to himself, "Who checks their phone while sleeping? I put it on silent." He gets frustrated and says, "I thought the conditions I added to the mission were crazy enough that no one would believe it. I never expected this many people to show up." Louis says, "I told you already. Low-level supporters barely get any missions. Everyone just wants to recruit high-damage or experienced pioneers. That's why the moment you posted such a mission, everyone rushed to accept it." Among the crowd, a blonde guy whispers to a blue-haired guy, "Do you really think we can trust this kid? Can we walk into a rift depending only on one damage dealer?" To them, Shu's mission looked like a scam. Louis reassures them, "Relax, I've teamed up with him before. I guarantee he's more than capable. He can help all of you complete your missions." A purple-haired girl asks, "You said in the mission that we don't have to do anything. We just follow you into the rift and you'll split the rewards 50-50 with us. Is that true?" Shu casually says yes. "As long as you don't interfere with my work, the deal stays." The crowd erupts. Everyone wants Shu to join their group for their missions. Every group tries to pull him their way. Louis apologizes. "I'm sorry. I only bragged in front of everyone that I knew you. And because of that, they insisted I bring them here. Now you decide which group you want to pick." Shu's face slowly turns into a sinister smile. "All right, I accept all your missions." The scene shifts to the Hang Sing group branch, where someone is being beaten badly. A yellow-haired man kicks another man and shouts angrily, "Your performance is the worst among all our teams this time. Because of you, I'll have to listen to the seniors scold me. What do you think? You're rich now? You dare go against our orders?" He continues, "Go collect the money from the people we loaned to. If they don't have cash, take everything valuable they own. If that still isn't enough, drag them away and sell them on the black market. Do I have to teach you how to sell them too?" He turns away, grinding his teeth. "If your performance is the same next month, your spot will be replaced. And the loan you took from our company, you'll pay it back with your body." The beaten man slowly stands up, blood dripping from his mouth. After some time, he exits the office. Several people wait outside. It's revealed that this man is the same guy who loaned money to Shu. The manager asks nervously, "Boss, your face? Are you okay?" The boss ignores him. The manager continues, anxious, "If we only collect loan interest, we'll never match the performance of other teams. I think it's time to expand our business. We'll just kidnap people and hand them to black market buyers. They'll do the rest." The boss slaps him hard. "Do you have no fear of God? You want to do something like that? What if your own kid is born missing parts because of the kind of sin?" The manager replies, "But think about it. If you don't survive, how will you have kids at all?" The boss hesitates for a moment, then scrolls through his phone. "Let's see if we can arrange some money somehow." As he scrolls, he comes across Shu's profile. The same person who beat up his thugs. His eyes narrow. He paid $5 million already, and he joined Dawn Academy on September 9th. Then paid off the loan on the 13th, but going to Dawn Academy alone costs a fortune. Then a sinister smile spreads across his face. His eyes gleam. Looks like a big fish walked right into our net. I thought he was poor. Well, let the game begin. The scene shifts to a D-rank rift, where a tree demon monster growls forward, only for Zhu to pierce it instantly with countless sharp abyss tentacle spears. He earns 12,000 soul points, 5 credit points, and 3,000 gold. Another scene shows Shu in a different dungeon, killing a swordfish-type monster with his abyss tentacles again. He earns 10,100 soul points, 4 credit points, and 15,000 gold. Then a third mission appears. Shu's tentacles crush a joint stone golem, earning him 5,000 soul points, 5.5 credit points, and 30,000 gold. This mission was harder than the first one, yet it gave fewer soul points, which annoys Shu. But since he has plenty of soul points now, he upgrades all his abilities one level up. His D-rank level 2 rises to D-rank level 3. His strength increases from 5 to 9, spirit from 5 to 9, and potential from 5 to 20. His abyss ability also advances from level 2 to level 3. Now he can summon 8 tentacles instead of 6. His abyss storage space expands to 200 units, and he unlocks a brand new skill, Source of Fear. With this skill, he can instill terror into monsters or enemies, and from the shadow of that fear he can summon tentacles. Seeing how terrifying this new power is, a smile forms across Zhu's face. He sees that all his friends have been surrounded by a swarm of scorpion monsters. They scream, "These are crystal shell Scorpios. They're D-rank monsters. How did they suddenly show up here?" Their numbers keep increasing every second, and there's no visible way out. At that moment, Shu whistles from the side. All the scorpions immediately turn their attention toward him. With a devilish look, Shu says, "Who said you're allowed to touch my people? You're going to pay a very heavy price for that." Instantly, the beasts feel an intense fear from Zhu's pressure. Shu receives a notification asking if he wants to use Authority Eye to summon abyss tentacles. He immediately says yes. A wave of energy erupts from his eyes, the source of fear. All the monsters' pupils shrink, their bodies begin shaking violently, and from the pit of the fear inside their hearts, Shu's abyss tentacles burst out. In an instant, every scorpion monster is slaughtered. Everyone who sees this ultimate power is completely stunned. Their jaws drop. The same blonde-haired girl says, "I've never seen this skill before. Is this some new ability of yours?" Shu thinks to himself, "This skill is truly dangerous. As long as I can create fear inside someone's heart, I don't even need to move my body. I can summon a tentacle right out of their heart and end them instantly." He receives a mission reward of 2,116 soul points. The blonde girl says, "So our mission here is complete. And with this, all the missions from all teams are done too. Shu, thank you so much for everything. You should take some rest. If we get another mission, we'll contact you." Shu nods and the scene shifts. After some time, Shu reaches his dorm room. Sitting comfortably on his bed, he checks his system panel. He mutters, "The more dungeons I clear, the fewer soul points I'm getting. Looks like there's some kind of mechanism to prevent me from leveling up too quickly. And right now, the system isn't allowing me to post any new missions either. It seems like I need to go into a higher level dungeon. But the problem is, a D-rank Awakener can't enter a C-rank Rift or accept their missions. Should I ask Senior Miss Lin for help? No, that might make her suspicious." Suddenly, his phone vibrates. He picks it up. The message says someone needs a personal bodyguard for one day, and the pay is 1 million for just that single day. Shu thinks, 1 million is a decent amount, but rifts matter more to me. He replies, refusing the mission. The guy insists and raises the amount to 3 million, but Shu still doesn't accept. In his mind, Shu wonders, 3 million for just one day of guarding someone? Is this a joke? How is that possible? Another message appears. "Actually, you need to protect me inside a wild rift." Hearing the word wild rift, Shu is surprised. If I have to protect him inside that rift, I might come across strong monsters. That means I can benefit from both sides. They plan to meet at a park. The scene shifts to the next day. Shu arrives at the park with Behemoth. He tells Behemoth, "I'm here only to discuss a mission inside a rift. From here, we'll head straight into the wild rift." A man wearing a blue coat stands near a tree. Shu notices him and says, "You're the one who messaged me and wanted to assign a job, right?" Before the man can speak, someone steps out beside him. It's the same loan shark. He laughs and says, "Actually, the person you're looking for isn't this guy. It's me, and you two can leave now. You're not needed here." The man in the blue coat apologizes to Shu and runs away. Shu stands there stunned. So I was tricked, he thinks. Meanwhile, the loan shark gives him a mocking smile and says in a taunting voice, "Kid, you paid us 5 million in a single day. And as far as we knew, you were dirt poor. So tell me, what gold mine did you find? Share it with me, and I promise you'll walk out of here safely." Shu ignores him and calmly starts to walk away. "I don't know where these people keep coming from. I completely wasted my time. And now I really have no idea where I'm going to find a higher level wild rift." Behind him, the man removes his glasses with a grin and says, "Did I say you could leave?" With a devilish look, he adds, "Looks like you've been underestimating me." Star Energy Combat Skill, Gravity Pressure activated. A heavy gravity field crashes onto the area. The man says in a cold voice, "It's been a long time since I've shown anyone my power. People have started taking me lightly. They've forgotten my name, Yulin." Shu becomes serious. "What did you say? Yulin? It's been a long time since I heard that name too." Turning around with a dark smile, Shu says, "So you're the one who kept increasing the loan interest on me. But I already paid every bit of interest, this month and all previous ones. So why are you here now?" The man laughs. "Because cats can smell fish, and people like us can smell money from miles away." Shu gives him a serious look. "So you people aren't the type to act decent. Even after I paid everything, you're here to collect more?" Shu doesn't move an inch. The man assumes Zhu is frozen under the pressure and slowly walks up to him with a mocking smile. "Look at you, under my pressure and still talking back. Some kids go to bigger places and start thinking they become someone important. Looks like joining that academy made you think the same. I know exactly how to beat guys like that back into shape. In that very moment, a powerful punch lands straight on the man's face, of course, delivered by Shu. The man completely loses his balance, stumbling backward as blood drips from his mouth. He thinks to himself, what just happened? Did he really attack me even while under my pressure? How is that possible? Meanwhile, Shu doesn't speak a single word. He just stands there, frozen in place. Seeing this, the man thinks, maybe I loosened my power for a moment. It must have been a coincidence, but even then, how dare he attack me? Furious, he activates his power. Red energy surges from his body as he yells, so you're trying to suppress me? Looks like you don't know your place. Let me show you. Before he can finish, Shu moves in and slaps him across the face, hard. Then a punch lands square on his chest. Shu steps forward, grabs his head, and smashes it straight into the ground. The man is completely embedded into the dirt. In that moment, he finally realizes that while Shu may be D rank on paper, his power is far beyond that. Shu steps closer and says, "Get up." The man slowly turns over, groaning in pain. "Please, stop. Don't hit me anymore. I give up." Behemoth walks up behind the man and says to Shu, "This is the loan shark who buried you under all that debt. Should we kill him right here? Or maybe hang him somewhere and beat him properly? That would be fun." Shu tells Behemoth, "No, not yet. I want to interrogate him first. I need information." Behemoth is a bit disappointed. The man hears their conversation and starts trembling. Are they thinking about killing me? He wonders. He panics and says, "This is all a big misunderstanding. We can talk. Please, just stop." Shu activates his authority eye, and instantly the man is pulled into a domain. Dozens of demonic red eyes stare down at him from above. Overwhelmed by this otherworldly scene, the man shouts, "What is this place? Where am I?" Shu steps through the shadowy void, his eyes glowing red. He approaches slowly and says, "Let's talk. If you lie to me even once, you'll face the consequences." The man begins crawling backward, terrified. "Please don't hurt me. I was wrong. I'll tell you everything you want to know." Shu speaks in a cold voice. "Start talking. Why are you here? What's your real motive? And did you go near my family before coming to me? Did you dare try to harass them?" The man stammers, "I didn't want to take money from you. It was just a joke. I swear that's the truth." Shu receives a system notification telling him the man is trying to play mental games. Shu relaxes and says, "All right, then none of this makes sense." Panicking, the man quickly says, "Wait, I was wrong, please. I really needed money. And when I saw you transfer millions instantly, I wanted to find out where you were getting all that money from. As for your family, I swear I would never touch them or even think about it." Shu says, "Funny, because if I remember correctly, 3 men showed up at my home to collect the loan. They were ready to go to any extreme. They said they were all your subordinates, so tell me, should I let you go?" Terrified, the man blurts out, "Those guys were insane. They broke all the rules. As soon as I found out, I fired them immediately." Shu thinks to himself, still no notification from the system. Looks like he's telling the truth. Shu sits beside him and says, "Look, I only borrowed 3 million, but how did that debt magically turn into 100 million? Did you do that?" The man shakes his head frantically. "No, absolutely not. The Han Group handles all the calculations and interest. That company lends money to people and then raises the interest so much that the borrower can never escape the debt. They end up slaves for life. Honestly, I'm also one of their victims. I couldn't pay them back, so now I work for them. And this month, I couldn't submit my quota, so I urgently needed money to meet my target." Shu thinks, "I thought talking to this guy would help me sort out the loan situation. But Sister Lean was right. There's a massive company behind all of this." Shu asks him, "But you're already at management level. You must have done plenty of dirty work, right?" The man immediately denies it. "No, I just look scary. I'm actually a good-hearted guy. I'm not like those people who'll do anything to hit their targets. If I look back at my entire life, I've only done one bad thing. Just one. I once picked up an E-rank demonic beast and sold it in the Blackwater district." Hearing this, Zhu is shocked. So that humanoid-type beast, was he the one who sent it? Then that beast must have come from a wild dungeon. Shu quickly asks, "Then do you know where that rift is? Can you take me there?" The man, surprised, says, "Yes, I still have it with me. I was supposed to report it to the circle in 2 days." Shu says, "Forget 2 days. Take me there today." The scene shifts to a warehouse in the district. In the center of the open space, a rift is swirling in midair. Shu and the man arrive. Shu says, "So you really hit a rift, and judging by its energy fluctuations, this is at least a C-rank rift. Normally something like this should be under a major academy or central government. How did you even learn about it? Scratching his head, the man says, I have some connections inside the circle. They were the ones who told me about this rift so I could make some small profit by doing side work and share it with them. He then pulls out a world tree fragment to open the rift. Shu is stunned and asks, This thing is extremely rare. Where did you get it? The man replies, A while back, the government's regulations on rifts weren't that strict. Back then, all these fragment stones were pretty easy to find in the black market, and at that time I spent a lot of money to buy this fragment. It was extremely expensive. Shu gives a slight smile and says, All right then, let's head inside the rift. The rift opens, releasing a strong wave of purple aura, and then the scene shifts a little while later. Shu and the man arrive on the other side of the rift, which looks like a lush, green mountain area. Suddenly, Shu receives a mission stating that he must eliminate every beast inside this rift. Shu smiles and says, See, the moment I entered a high-level rift, a mission triggered immediately. This is exactly what I wanted. Both of them start walking deeper into the rift. Behind him, the man nervously says, You're also here to earn some small profit, right? Look, I've checked this whole area. There are no beasts around, and forget about finding any rare materials, but going deeper can get extremely dangerous. Shu replies coldly from behind, Who said I came here to make small profit? My real goal is to clear this rift. Hearing this, the man is completely shocked. He screams, You've lost your mind. This is a C-rank rift. Normally it takes 5 C-rank oracles or 14 D-rank oracles to conquer it, and it's just the two of us here. We can't possibly do this. Shu turns around and says, Wow, you actually know a lot about this. The man answers in a serious tone. Before working for this company, I used to be part of a conquest team. This is basic knowledge. But listen, I can't go along with this. He reaches into his pocket for the World Tree fragment key, but it's not there. At that moment, Zhu pulls the fragment key out of his own pocket and calmly says, Are you looking for this? I figured you might lose it inside or drop it somewhere. Who could guarantee that wouldn't happen? And you already know. Without this thing, we can't leave this dungeon. Then Shu adds seriously, Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. We aren't clearing this dungeon. I am clearing it alone. So here's a warning. Don't get in my way. With that, he slowly starts walking forward. A few moments later, he reaches a forest where a few monkeys stand in front of him. As he looks up, the branches above are covered with them. From behind, the man screams, These are demon cave apes. They're extremely dangerous and vicious. If you see even one, it means the whole group is within 10 meters. Looks like we're going to die today. All the apes begin rushing down from above to attack Shu. A sinister smile spreads across Shu's face. He whispers, People really weren't lying. When the Almighty gives, He gives unlimited. Today, I'm incredibly lucky. He activates his abyss tentacle. From beneath his feet, shadows begin spreading outward. Seeing this creepy scene, the man is completely stunned. Shu wipes out a huge number of monsters in moments, leaving the man frozen in shock. But the demon apes don't back off. Instead, they scream even louder and launch an all-out attack. Shu, completely unbothered, walks forward calmly without fear. The man finally snaps back to his senses and thinks, These apes are C-rank, but this kid is killing them like they're nothing. Could this be how he makes money so fast? Shu keeps smiling while his abyss tentacles tear through the monsters, slaughtering everything in sight. And with this brutal scene, today's story updates right here. This is ongoing, so if you want to continue watching it, then like the video and subscribe to MANHWA Buddy, because we are your buddy.